Hey, a lot of work put into this moment. A lot of work. Remember one thing today. You're not alone. You got 10 dudes around you that are going to lay it on the line for you. Do the same for them. Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
I'm crossing interstates. You know that I don't play. I will take you on a date. Yeah, I'm meant for these games. So never switching like
Ready to go.
I know this from the heart, cause you know that I'm a star. And it's all came from the heart. You were here when it was hard. I told the world.
Hey, gotta love this, man. Get to go out there and play some football, man. Have some fun, play for each other.
Or cover for the man next to you.
Hey, 60 minutes, play for one another.
Hey, man, this is a hell of an opportunity. What you willing to lay on the line? Ask yourself that.
Finish, grind, take a deep breath, and have some fun. Okay?
You guys already know what the deal is. We are here. We are back for another recap for y'all. NFL Week 13 recap. It was an interesting week in the NFL this week. But you already know we got Mr. Ben in the building. We got Connor in the building, Conrad and Don, and we have the one and only Mr. Nero from What the Hell is Happening Sports.
Yes, sir.
How we doing, boys?
We're chilling.
Another good weekend of football.
Yes, sir. Oh.
Doing good.
Man,
doing good.
Sunday is the best day of the week. Poor Ben. Now you're gonna have to go. You gonna have to go get a new fork, poor brother.
My
Poor
God.
guy. You right? Yeah. You already know. Sometimes we like to eat dinner while we do this. You know, we gotta eat. You gotta eat.
Gotta feed
But
ourselves.
speaking of eating this week, we just gonna get right into it. Man, that brother Drake May, huh? Drake May. That man was cooking. That man was on one. He's been on one all season. And you already know this has been the biggest thing as far as as to what I think the success to Drake May this season has been. He's just moving the ball at an efficient rate. And, you know, I think that at the same time, you know, while we sit and discuss Drake May a little bit, I'll pull up the stats so you guys can get the official numbers. But the efficiency at Josh McDaniels and how he's moving this offense and what he continues to do week in, week out, moving this team up and down the field. I mean, I pose a serious question to you guys. My question is, and this is going to be an interesting one. You guys might not agree, but do you believe in the Patriots being Super Bowl contenders?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't complain about the schedule. Can't say nothing about the schedule, right? It's a schedule that the NFL made for them. Favorable, right? I mean, they were in last place last year. Now they got a head coach. Now they got an offensive coordinator, which we both know very, very well in Vrabel and McDaniels. They have the quarterback. You can't be mad that they're beating teams that they should beat. You know, they've already beaten two good teams. Well, you can even count the Bengals in a sense from a team that can be in the playoffs if things worked out differently for them. You know, so you can't take that away from them. Now, Super Bowl contenders, like I said, yeah. Right now, if the season ended right now, they'd host a playoff game. They'd have the bye and host the playoff game at home. And when you play in New England during playoff time, it's hard to win over there. So I think this team, you know, I think this team has a genuine shot. I do. From top to bottom, that roster right now, it's one of the better ones we've seen in a few years. So I put my money on the Patriots to at least to make it to the Super Bowl.
Conrad and Don, talk to us, brother. All right.
I feel like they can.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I feel like they can, especially with how our defense played against this team.
Okay, he's cutting out. But I will say, actually, well, Ben, Ben,
Yeah.
what is your take on the Patriots?
Yeah,
after
Connor is
watching
back.
this game?
All right, easy. All right.
Is he back?
Yeah.
Connor, you're breaking up a shit ton, brother. While you get that fixed real quick, we'll just hop to Ben real quick. Ben, how did you feel about this game, and do you feel that the Patriots are Super Bowl contenders, and does this game move you?
I mean, because it's not about like 10 wins in a row. It's tough to do nowadays with the amount of good teams there are. And even though that was just the Giants yesterday, who were 2-10 coming into this game, it's still 10 wins in a row. So they definitely could contend for the Super Bowl. Do I believe? I have some belief they can get there. Did I see it happen? Probably. That can happen. I'll say yeah. I said it. I mean, they can get there.
Interesting. I'm not. You guys saw last week.
Mm-hmm.
The teams they're going up against, I just am not sure. Like, we haven't seen them play Houston. We haven't seen them play San Fran. We haven't seen them play the Seahawks. We haven't seen them. Well, I guess San Fran might be the wrong team to put in that mix, but we haven't seen them play LA, both LAs.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen them play the Eagles. I don't know. They haven't played the Broncos. I'm just not sure. Like, I'm not even being a hater, but we've seen, for example, last year, like I gave this example on last pod. For those watching, shout out to anybody watching. Thank you on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. Thank you to everybody watching. Like, this is what I trust in the most, is Josh McDaniels and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that is a benefactor people don't think about in football, when actually coaching is the most important thing in football. Yes, you can have the quarterback, but ask Joe Burrow how that's going for him right now. Yes, he's been to a Super Bowl, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet.
Right.
A quarterback can only take you so far.
Right.
And another concerning thing is that the Patriots' pass defense is still a bottom 20 defense in terms of pass. And that in the playoffs, where I'm not saying CJ Stroud and Bo Nix are going to light them up, but if you have to face one of those guys, or even we're going to see what the test is going to be against Josh Allen and Lamar again towards the end of this season, you ask yourself, in this situation, can this team actually put together a win against a team that has had to play? The Broncos beat the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions of last year.
Right.
The Broncos schedule has been one of the hardest schedules.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Bills look like they're frauds. So I can't even really at this point put the Buffalo Bills in a category with a team like the Broncos. The Colts just lost to my Kansas City Chiefs and just lost to the Texans. So for me, now we just see the Colts coming back down to earth. Now, granted, Daniel Jones has a fractured fibula. So clearly,
and he's playing through it.
He's playing through it, but I think he's playing through it because I think he knows he has to play through it.
Yeah, probably.
At this point. Because then at this point, you're throwing somebody else into the fold. And, all respect to Daniel Jones. Don't get me wrong. All respect to him, but he's obviously not the same player. And now that knowing that and teams knowing that, he's trying to protect his leg, which we saw numerous times this past week. And Jonathan Taylor, they're just stacking the box.
Mm-hmm.
That's just stack the box. And if Alec Pierce beats you over the top once a game, who cares?
Right.
Yeah.
That's it at this point. And you stack the box, and Tyler Warren, obviously, he's probably there. And Michael Pittman was a non-factor. So I look at this Patriots team and I ask myself, is this really a team that we can look at and say is a Super Bowl contender? I still think no. And I'm not being a hater. You look at the strength of schedule and you look at certain things, and it just bothers me that I've seen look at that throw by the schedule when Drake Mays made some plays. Like, dude, you played the Giants, bro.
Right.
You played a bottom 25 pass defense, bro. You played the Giants. Like, you're supposed to do that.
Right.
No one's giving you brownie points.
Right.
It seems like most of the fan base has given themselves brownie points already because it's been a long road coming. That's really what it is. And rightfully so, Patriots fans are excited. Rightfully so.
Indeed.
That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, like there has to be some level of realism. And that reality is the Patriots haven't played a single team with a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense simultaneously all season, except for the Buffalo Bills. That's it. And then we saw what happened to the Buffalo Bills after that Patriots game. So I think the confidence should come from coaching. I don't think the confidence should be in the defense. Now, special teams is another factor I'd say give confidence in.
Right.
I mean, Marcus Jones is electric, dude. He's a fucking athlete, man. And, you know, I love seeing him out there. I love seeing him make these plays. And I love seeing him continuously make plays, even on defense. You know, a couple picks in the last couple weeks. Yep. You know, he's really coming to his own, and he's finding out how to use his athleticism to really affect the game. And, you know, I think also at the same time, too, like, you know, Behringer, the punter, has been awesome. I mean, people don't pay attention to punting because, you know, most casual watchers don't, but Behringer has been an awesome punter for this Patriots team this year. I think, you know, he deserves a little bit more credit as far as team success in terms of punting. You look at the punting stats in terms of overall NFL punting stats, he's right up there with some of the best. You know, so the Patriots are finding ways to win, which is respectable. It's honorable. You're beating teams you should. But this team also, to be on the lighter side and the brighter side, this team could be undefeated right now. Considering the Raiders was the first game. Like I said, I tossed that one out the window. It's the first game of the season with a brand new roster, brand new coaching staff. Wipe your hands with that. I'm cool. That one is like, all right, you lose your first game to an experienced quarterback. You know what I mean? The defense hasn't obviously played the way it's played all season in terms of the pass. It's cool. But the Steelers is a game probably should have won. Looking back on it now.
Yeah.
Looking back on it now, probably should have won that game. And obviously it was a little bit earlier, obviously way earlier in the season. So you look at that and you ask yourself, like, hey, could this team be undefeated? Very well. Very well undefeated. And, you know, I think Super Bowl is a big ask. AFC Championship is not a big ask. Like, I think they deserve to be there if they win out this season. If they beat the Bills again. Like, honestly, to be real with you, if they beat the Bills again and in convincing fashion, then I'll be on the train of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Real shit. Like,
but I mean, that's fair, though.
Again, I'm cool with that. That's another team that's top 10 in both aspects, offense and defense.
Right.
Like, I'm cool with that for sure. You beat the Bills again, I'm there.
So could I ask you a question real quick?
Absolutely, Luke.
Also, shout out to all you guys, and sorry for the late join.
Nah, you're good, bro. Thanks for joining us. We sent it late, so that's our fault. So you're good.
I'm gonna ask a question since the Patriots are definitely a playoff team. You know, they got the record they do. You're saying Super Bowl is not realistic. Conference championship is. What team or teams are in the way? Like, if there has to be a team or two that gets bounced that they don't match up well against, who is it? To get to the Super Bowl.
The Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos week in, week out are just continuously finding ways to win. Like it doesn't matter what way they're doing it, whether it's special teams or a defense or offense. Like, They're just finding ways to win, and Sean Payton is finding ways to take this team to the next level each week. And though I want to say the Texans, but the only reason why I'd say that is because of defense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like the offense is a scary thing.
Right.
Whatsoever. Like, the offense is obviously a question mark. The offense is obviously a concern.
Mm-hmm.
But that defense, the past 5 weeks, is just absolutely keeping them in games. And somehow, in some way, Davis Mills and CJ Stroud are finding ways to win. And that's a team that if they offensively figure it out with the way that the Patriots' pass defense is set up, Nico Collins could torch them in a playoff game. Like, he really could. And Bo Nix's ability to run and Bo Nix's ability to reset the pocket with his feet, his mobility, is something that, yes, the Patriots played against Josh Allen. And that's really the only guy with mobility, other than maybe, I guess you could say, Baker Mayfield, that maybe threatens you with their feet. But I'm just concerned about how this Patriots pass defense is going to hold up for the majority of a playoff game against a team that is seasoned and tested, especially like the Broncos, who made the playoffs last year.
Right.
And Bo Nix is going into another year with more experience, and we saw the plays he was making the other night. We'll get to that game soon, but this is a Patriots team that, to dive into the stats a little bit. I mean, Drake May, another 250+ yard game. Like, this dude is ridiculous, bro. It's not Drake May at all. This dude is amazing. Him and Matthew Stafford are right up there right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, after this week, you got to put Drake May ahead of Matthew Stafford. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after, I will keep it fair, there was a banged up Patriots offensive line going into this game. You had almost four guys, if I'm not mistaken, that were backups on that offensive line. Mind you, Drake May did build a rapport with them last year, but you look at this year, they've been a lot of healthy and a little bit banged up at certain times, but not at the offensive line position.
Mm-hmm.
And Will Campbell, it is led to be believed. I wish I could find the post here, but it is said.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say a grade 3 sprain, so it's pretty much like on cusp of being torn.
Exactly. Yep. And
what was it? MCL, I believe.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
For Will Campbell, I think it was, yeah.
It's concerning because he's been amazing, man. I know that people don't watch, people don't pay attention to offensive line, and people don't, they say X, Y, and Z about the offensive line, and
it was classified as a sprain MCL.
Right. And Drake May has to be there over Matthew Stafford. And honestly, stop giving the ball to Ramondre Stevenson. Stop.
I knew this was coming.
Just stop. Why is he getting more attempts than TreVeyon Henderson? I don't know what they're seeing at this point. Like, this is the one coaching thing I have to say about this team all season, because they've been excellent. Like, there's not much to say about the Patriots coaching, considering they're 11-2.
Mm-hmm.
Dog, leave Stevenson on the fucking bench and put him in, whether it's 5 yards or 7 yards and closer in the red zone. Give the ball to TreVeyon Henderson. This dude didn't have 100+ rushing yard games when you gave him the bulk load of the carries for nothing. Come on, man. It's at the point. I want to see this kid go out there. Every time I'm like, why? Every time I see Stevenson, I'm like, oh my God. It's a fear of him fumbling the ball every time. But split carries, you can obviously see almost the same amount. One less carry, he had 27 more yards, 6.1 average. His longest run was 26. Ramondre's longest run was 9.
It's for me. It's not even the fear of fumbling. It's the 2 weeks when he wasn't around and Travion got the full workhorse load.
Yeah.
And he produced in both those outings. Why the fuck are we doing damn near 50-50?
Right.
Like,
No, absolutely.
but like you could definitely take the stress off him and do like an 80-20, 70-30% like a snap share, but why are we doing this 50-50? If not worse, like we're giving them less temps.
Absolutely. Oh, and chat, Bruins score, chat. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
I gotta add the Bruins sound in there for when they score goals. That would be fucking sick. But the Bruins scored again. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Anyways, so you look at this game, and I will say another thing too, right? Jackson Dart, he's the future of that team. There's no doubt. Like, he's 100% the future of that team. I think if John Mara screws this up, blame it on being old and decrepit at this point, because I don't know how you could screw this up. Malik Neighbors is not there. He's out there going 17 for 24 on a 70% completion percentage. Obviously, granted, like I said, it was a bottom 20 pass defense, but a touchdown, 70% completion percentage, 139 yards, and he got out there on the ground a little bit, 4 for 20. Devin Singletary pitched in a touchdown with 12 for 68. I think that this Giants team, obviously, they have some work to do. Darius Slayton caught a nice 28-yard touchdown or 30-yard touchdown. 41 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 7 catches for 34, moving the chains out there when he could. Yeah, I mean, how do you guys feel about the Giants? And this is a crazy report, actually, to throw this in there too. What did you guys feel? How did you guys feel about Abdul Carter's little pregame shenanigans there?
I do not think that's real. I do not think that's real. So I think that came from a parody account, but that's so funny. That was so funny.
Yo,
I missed
so
it. Can someone fill me in on that one?
So the report that came out for a parody account, I don't think it's real. Is he was caught watching sexual content on meeting because his headphone disconnected. But I don't think that's real.
Interesting.
Even if it is, I guess whatever works.
Amari, do I gotta say it, bro?
Be the man, bro.
I gotta say it. Mr. Carter, you freaky ass guy. I'm gonna keep it chill, but you freak. You a freak. Like, you go into the game with only a half a sack to your name in your NFL career, and you over here watching sexual content in a meeting? Dog. No wonder you ain't doing shit on the field. You worried about the wrong shit.
Yeah.
He's worrying about the wrong stick.
Yeah, he is. He's yeah. Let me relax. Let me relax. Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. Abdul Carter ain't doing shit on the field, but you have Jackson Dart doing what he got to do. That's the future right there. They got their quarterback. Everybody else, I don't know. Maybe Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence. You got the defensive line intact. Abdul Carter got to step up. But yeah, Abdul Carter, man, you might have to go to therapy, bro. You might have to. You too. A strong might. You're too young. You're too young for this shit. He's too young for this shit. If you was like 45, 50, you know what? Do your thing, because I know you ain't getting nothing now. But come on, guys. Come on, bro. Send his ass to therapy, you know what? Send his ass. Nah, I can't even say that. Just send him to therapy. Just send him to therapy. Get him out of here.
Getting on to the actual subject.
Yes.
I really like the Giants going forward. Dart, with what he's been given, especially Neighbors going down, Scatterbo going down, and what he's still been doing, I kind of expected that to come to a little bit of a halt against this Patriots defense, and I wasn't too far off on that one. But overall, Dart has been amazing. We saw what Scatabo is capable of. We know what Neighbors is capable of. So a lot of it's going to come down to health. But realistically, they're going to have a good draft position. And
Again,
I think you would be foolish. Now, I know the defense is a bit of a question mark. That I think you handle in free agency. I think you would be foolish not to go offensive line. Fano, or I forget what exactly his name is. I thought that was the name of the top offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
But O-line in general, I think you bolster that offensive line. Scatabo and Neighbors coming back. Wandale Robinson, what a pleasant surprise. If that's your wide receiver 2 going in the next year, you should feel very good about yourself, knowing Neighbors and Scatabo will also both be back. I think the sky's the limit if you bolster the offensive line and, you just have health kind of back on your side. Now, the defense can very well, if not handled properly, turn into a Bengals-like situation where the offense has to score 30 to 40 to be in a game every night. But that's the thing. They can be offensive juggernauts. And I don't expect the defense to dip and be that bad. But I believe through free agency, they can fix some of their holes. Not all of them, but you can make the defense just good enough where all those offensive pieces should be enough. Now, I'm not saying for a Super Bowl or anything, not quite yet, but you could turn this into a borderline playoff team.
Absolutely. I do like the take. I think that, you look at this Giants team and the potential with the young guys, like you said, Wandale Robinson, Malik Neighbors, Jackson Dart. You got a core like RJ just said. Outside of Andrew Thomas, who is great, yeah, but they're gonna have a decent pick this year. This is a very, very good O lineman draft for those who watch college football. There's going to be some studs in this draft. It's obviously not really quarterback heavy. It's obviously not, it's obviously not a situation we like to deal with in terms of a franchise. If anyone's been in this position, especially the Patriots, even my Kansas City Chiefs, O-line's a big thing. We're seeing it happen right now with Drake May and even, Patrick Mahomes running for their lives at certain points in times. So I think that if they can get a guy, on the other side of Andrew Thomas to really bolster up that offensive line, you're going to see a lot of significant improvement. And, like RJ said, outside of it, who's good. And that's really their most glaring weakness. The defense is middle of the pack right now, enough to a certain point. So, you look at that and you ask yourself, is this a team, obviously, like Luke said, that could make a leap next year? I would expect them to take a Carolina Panthers type of leap. Now, I'm not saying they're going to take a Broncos leap or a Pats leap, a leap where they go from 3 and whatever to 11 and 2 or 3 and whatever to a playoff team. But the Giants are definitely going to be a team where, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I never thought they should have fired Brian Daboll. That didn't really make sense to me. Jackson Dart was his guy. And, you hate to see a guy like Brian Daboll go out the door and be out the door because he was really a huge benefactor for that Giants team. Week in, week out, they were sitting there and they were honestly trying to do the best that they possibly could to set this team up for a position to win. And I love the take, Luke. I think this is a team that, for the future, their future is almost set up. The Bruins score with 11 seconds left, but it's too little too late. It's 5-4 now. But, it is, a team that you want to see go crazy. But, to move on to one of the better games this week, the Green Bay Packers played the Detroit Lions. The Packers had a resounding win against the Lions. And, hey, man, Jordan Love. I mean, the guy's balling. The guy's doing his thing. He's out there doing what he's supposed to do. And, I feel like this was a big game for Jordan Love. And it really showed that, this Packers team probably isn't fraudulent. You could say whatever you want about the Lions. It's cool. But, you go up against a team with an offense like that. Jordan Love, 234 and four tutties, chat. 4 tutties. That boy going crazy. You know what I'm saying? He's out here doing his thing. You got Josh Jacobs, 17 for 83, chipping in with a 20-plus run. You know what I'm saying? Josh Jacobs is the driving force of that offense. So, shout out Josh Jacobs. Main focal point. You got, Dontavion Wicks out here. 6 for a 94 and 2 tutties. Shout out Dontavion Wicks. That brother killed it, having a little bit of a resurgence where Romeo Doubs forgets how to catch the ball. Honestly, almost every single game, he doesn't know how to catch the ball at this point. And then you have...
Even though Doubs won 4 for 4 in this game.
Yep, he did. But, he had 20 yards. He didn't really do much. And he had a touchdown. But, Jordan Love was out there wheeling and dealing, man. He was out there spreading that ball around. And without Tucker Kraft, that was a big question mark for this Packers team. Shout out Mr. Joel V. Moran, avid Packers guy over there at Pick a Side Podcast. He stood on his take about Jordan Love figuring it out. And, we've seen the problems about the receivers this year. Christian Watson, this dude, bro.
He's so matchup dependent.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I don't know what it's going to take for Christian Watson to really put it all together at this point, but you kind of can't even hope for that at this point. Just because, like you just said, Luke, thank you for coming on, because I love the fact that you said that. He really is such a matchup-dependent wide receiver. And yes, he's a big physical guy, but his route running isn't the best at all whatsoever. He's not like a 7-Eleven type of receiver. If you don't know what a 7-Eleven type of receiver is, 7-Eleven's open for 24 hours, chat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
7-Eleven is open for 24 hours. So, he's not really a 7-Eleven type of guy, but, like you said, matchup dependent is awesome. But I want to pose a question to you guys, because I feel like this is an interesting question. Are the Lions frauds? And have the Packers redeem themselves? And can the Packers go to the Super Bowl?
I don't think the Lions are necessarily frauds. I just think way too many casuals pictured them to be juggernauts the way they were last year under the Ben Johnson offense. And you had to know, realistically, using your brain, you had to know and be able to think about and comprehend it wasn't going to be the same style offense. Now, they still have J-Mo, Amon-Ra, whose health I know is questionable right now, but it's not like he's out for the season. Gibbs, Goff, he's no tier 1 quarterback, but he's no slouch either. This is still a very good team. And I don't want to label them as frauds, but I think way too many people were expecting more with the big changes that were made to the team.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, absolutely. I think, they had them as juggernauts because of that Micah Parsons trade really probably lifted a lot of Packers fan spirits and people were nervous, but they're starting to figure it out. But for the rest of the panel, how do you guys feel about the posed question?
Well, I know last week I said the Packers were the biggest frauds. And obviously I said that because of the losses they had to the Browns, and they also lost to the Panthers. 2 teams that you should have your way with if you're the Green Bay Packers. But when it really counts, and obviously they lost to the Eagles also in a kind of a quiet game by both teams on Monday Night Football a couple weeks ago. When everybody clicks, when the offense clicks and the defense clicks, but mainly the offense, the Packers are the team that we know they can be.
Right.
Both those things clicked on Thanksgiving, right? If we actually see more of this, in the 4 or 5 games they have left, then that's a team to be reckoned with, because the one guy you got to worry about defensively should be able to wreak havoc, along with the guys like Rashawn Gary, Xavier McKinney in the back end, Edrin Cooper, and Edrin Cooper at linebacker as well. Everybody comes together and plays well. This team is hard to beat. But when you look at the Lions, the driving factor of how this year has gone is because Ben Johnson is no longer there. And you see where Ben Johnson is, and you see how everything has come together for the Bears. The only thing that's holding them back right now is they're still trying to figure out at certain points throughout these games how they're going to continue to run this offense. The 2 games he played against the Packers, Jahmyr Gibbs was shut down. And because Jahmyr Gibbs was shut down, everybody else had to take on a bigger role. What also kind of holds them back also is the amount of times they go for it on 4th down and they fail. And in the 2 games they played against the Packers, and they go for it on 4th down, they weren't able to really convert on a lot of them. They probably have converted on a couple, but you got to pick and choose when you want to do it against a defense like that. If they play a little bit smarter, there's still hope for them in a sense, but they're on the outside looking in. And I tell you, hopefully next year, offensive wise, hopefully they get somebody who can, that can have the same effect as Ben Johnson can. But I mean, right now, the Packers right now are a team that, if everything clicks, should be in the Super Bowl. And I would say, in terms of frauds for the Lions, I wouldn't really call them a fraud, because, like Luke said, Ben Johnson was the driving force for that offense. Now they still have to really figure out how they can continue to do this, and especially if Jahmyr Gibbs can't keep up if a defense is locking in on him for 60 minutes.
And I want to go back to what you said about the Packers too, with everything coming together. We noticed how many receivers got, especially with the absence of Kraft. We noticed how many receivers were involved in that game, and the only thing that concerns me is the inconsistency, and because a lot of that game was opened up because, like we said, Christian Watkins is so matchup dependent. So in a matchup where he's not doing anything, he's not opening up for other people, whether it's Dontavian Wicks, Dobbs. So it's not a knock on him. It's more so just a concern of I need more consistency.
Right.
But if they get that together, and there's still plenty of time for it, they absolutely have a shot to make at least the conference championship.
Indeed. And now thinking about it, because I know Jayden Reed's been out. If he were to somehow come back this year, maybe that obviously that missing piece from, I think he got hurt in week 2, that should add another element for a guy like Christian Watson. Because if Christian Watson, because mind you, when Christian Watson's on, he's either your number 1 or your number 2 in a game like against the Packers, against the Lions. The way how he's catching these balls, like Luke said about matchup dependent, it's effective. When you have Jayden Reed back out there along with Romeo Dobbs, you gotta have to. A defense has to really pick who's gonna be the number 1 guy to cover such and such. Who's gonna be the number 2 guy to cover such and such. So if Christian Watson gets these favorable matchups when Jayden Reed comes back, it's going to benefit him, but then it's also going to benefit Jayden Reed, because then that defense is going to lean more towards Christian Watson as the game goes on, and then Jayden Reed can get through. So if Jayden Reed comes back, then the team as offensive line, even with Jordan Love, is a little more scary, because it's almost an unknown factor of who's going to really be the guy as a receiver to really get it going. Because we already know what Josh Jacobs brings. We already know what Emmanuel Wilson brings. What are these guys going to bring from week to week, game to game?
Amazing analysis, dude. That was fucking perfect. You and Luke just murdered that shit. That was awesome. I will say too, right? Actually, before I go, Ben, I know, we watched Red Zone together pretty much for the majority of the weekend, but how did you feel about this game? And as for the posed question, you being a Ravens fan, what do you think that the Lions would have to improve on in the same aspect as maybe your team, a team that's been on a heater that just lost to the Bengals, which we'll get into that in a bit? Are you muted? I think you're muted, brother.
I am muted. Always happens. I haven't gotta happen once every recording podcast when I'm live.
No, you're good.
Gotta happen once. This guy, this Goff. That's not just the Lions are not winning a Super Bowl with this guy.
Shout out RJ. Shout out RJ.
That's just not happening. That's what the QB for me is just with Goff as QB. It's just not happening. Like the offensive line, I think is good. Defensive line, fine. Receiving core, fine. Fine. Sam Brown just went down, so I don't know about that. Compared to the Ravens, because the Ravens this year just struggle very much with the defense, which is I don't think has been the case a lot with the Lions. If you compare both. But if you look position by position, like of course the Ravens have the better QB and stuff.
Right.
I just don't see Goff winning a QB with this team. The Lions winning a QB with Goff at QB at all.
Yeah, I can't even blame you guys. And it's odd. And the reason I'll say this is odd is because bro, Jared Goff fucking sucks, bro. This guy is trash, dude. Like, I can't do it anymore. I tried to defend this guy. This nigga's fucking trash. I don't know how you have Amon-Ra St. Okay, well, you know what? I give him a tiny bit of breathing room because Sam Laporta is hurt.
Right.
That's his safety blanket.
Yeah.
Now, say what you want, but Sam Laporta is his safety blanket. Like, Sam Laporta is a fucking beast. We're talking about a top 3 tight end, in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. He brings it to the element which, I'm in a 200 person group chat. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, it's like a 200 person NFL group chat. If anybody has any interest in joining, there's some crazy ass takes and some fucking crazy banter in there. So like, just beware. There's a lot of trolling. So if you join this chat, like, just be prepared for when the trolling moments happen. But I will say, we were having a conversation about this in the group chat. You know what I'm saying? And they're actually texting right now, watching the live. So shout out to Yadamin group chat. You feel me? Shout out to the Yadamin group chat. Sorry. They're calling me Unk and shit, telling me I look old and whatnot. A couple young niggas in there. But like I said before about Jared Goff and a lot of the teams, like we were having this conversation in the group chat, and the group chat was saying, they don't trust Jared Goff. They don't trust even Jordan Love. And to be real, the Jordan Love take was interesting to me. That one is a little interesting to me. But what wasn't interesting to me is the Jared Goff take, obviously. Now, Jared Goff is a guy who we saw go to the Super Bowl, right? But what did Jared Goff have around him? An elite team that picked his deficiencies up. Man, you had Todd Gurley. Mm-hmm. Arguably, in my personal opinion, the peak wasn't long, but arguably Todd Gurley is one of the greatest running backs ever. Mm-hmm. Just in terms of pure talent, pure skill, vision, stiff arm, trucking, side to side, lateral movement, everything. This guy is insane. Mm-hmm. Then you had a young crop of receivers who they were on the rise of, like, I don't want to say that he had anyone overly crazy elite, but it was the 2018 season, right, where they played the Patriots, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So just to look this up quickly, Obviously, I'll show it to you guys on screen here. Let's see. 2018 Rams roster, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go and you look at this roster top to bottom. Robert Woods, who at the time was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
You could forget now because, he obviously, faltered a little bit after a stint there. But you had 2 1,000-yard receivers. You had Todd Gurley, who pitched in 580 yards. So, mind you, this dude had almost 1,800 yards of total offense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, he had 1,200. He had 1,251, and then he had 580. So, realistically, he had almost 1,900 yards of total offense. You had Cooper Kupp, who was coming into his own. Kupp wasn't really the Triple Crown guy that we saw, and he was playing behind Woods and Cooks, who had already proved themselves in the NFL. And this is when Cooks was still in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at and Josh Reynolds, who was also let's not lie here. Josh Reynolds was also good,
mm-hmm.
and was a very good receiver in this National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the defense. I mean, do we even say more about this dog? You had Corey Littleton, John Johnson, LaMarcus Joyner, Mark Barron, Sue, even just Sue and Donald alone with Marcus Peters and Sansa Ebukam.
And
Like,
Talib.
bro, this team was in Dante Fowler Jr., Aqib Talib, Sam Shields. Like, come on, bro. Like,
right.
He couldn't even get it done with this roster, right? And, like, this screams to me another season where the Lions last year, injuries were their excuse last year. Sam Laporta being injured shouldn't be enough of an excuse for you guys to not go farther than what you did last year. It's just disrespectful to you and your team and to Dan Campbell, I feel bad for Dan Campbell, man. I really, really do feel bad for Dan Campbell. I feel bad for that man. I do. He's done so much, and Ben Johnson left. And you see what Ben Johnson's doing over there with Caleb Williams right now. This Bears team, Mike, like I said last pod, now I'm going to stand on business because that's what I do. That's what I do. Look, goddamn Bears. Look at what Ben Johnson's doing. Ben Johnson is killing these motherfuckers out here, bro. He's killing them. He just beat the returning champs this week. And mind you, I want to say it was in the Eagles building, wasn't it?
It was.
I think it was, yeah.
You go into the house of cards. You go into the house of returning champs, and you beat them. And you can see how much this Lions team is missing Ben Johnson's creativity. And they're also missing Sam Laporta, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is the biggest thing I feel like. Jared Goff doesn't know what to do without Sam Laporta right now. Because you're seeing a lot less play action. You're seeing a lot less sets with jumbo tight ends. You're seeing a lot less 12-13 personnel. You're seeing a lot of bunch stack formations on the line to try and make up for it. And Jameson Williams is not a great blocker. Amon-Ra St. Brown is gritty, though, and a good blocker. That's for sure. He is. He's up there. In terms of wide receiver blocking, he's up there. And for everyone that's going to say blocking doesn't matter for wide receivers, you know what I have to say to that? I don't think that that's the case. Blocking matters a shit ton, for sure. You see what the San Francisco 49ers are out there doing, with Christian McCaffrey, Jawan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall, and George Kittle. Those guys are getting out there to block anybody. Anyone. And you just look at this, and I just, the difference, like I said before, in rosters, man. You just look at this roster, and if you look at the Lions roster, right, we could do a side-by-side. The Lions roster, I mean, dog, you had arguably the best scoring running back. Well, not even arguably. He had the most touchdowns by a running back last year. It was Jahmyr Gibbs. You're Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Justin Jackson. You got David Montgomery. David Montgomery, a proven vet who's been amazing. Yes, has he been a little bit different since his injury? For sure, but it is what it is. Khalif Raymond, decent enough, right? Kind of like Khalil Shakir. Khalif Raymond reminds me a lot of Khalil Shakir. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a top 5 wide receiver in this league. However you shake that, last year, he at least was last year. And whether you want to say this year, that's fine. Jameson Williams, one of the best deep ball threats in the league. You know, offensive line, elite. Tristan Colin, Graham Glasgow, Coyote Awosika, Michael Neese, Tate Ratledge, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, Dan Skipper. Those 3 guys alone. Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, Dan Skipper, 3 elite guys. Aiden Hutchinson, Tyler Lacey. You know what I mean? DJ Reader, Makai Wingo, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell. Alex Anzalone and Jack Campbell is top 5, one of the best 1-2 punches at linebacker in the league. They complement each other so well. And I just think for me, go ahead, talk to me.
Going back to the blocking thing, I thought we were gonna stay on that for a little bit longer. But no, I just wanted to say blocking for wide receivers and tight ends too, for that matter. Very, very undervalued and overlooked. In my opinion, it's critical to the game because you can always be one block away from stopping a 3rd and long, or a block away from you miss it and he's taking it to the house. So there's been way too many times when it comes down to one blocker and it either saves a team or bites in the ass.
Excellent point. Beautiful point. Yeah. And like you said, blocking's a big key. You know, you look at this. And to answer the question, like I said, you guys probably already know the answer because I obviously gave you the analysis. But the Lions are obviously frauds and the Packers have redeemed themselves. I'm just, you know, I wasn't so high on the Packers because of whatever. But when you have a quarterback like Jordan Love playing at the level he's playing at. And did y'all see that Dontavion Wicks dime he threw?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dog. This dime, this is what you want to see, right? Like, this dime is unbelievable, dog. It's unbelievable. And I think for the most part, dude, you look at what he's done so far, and this is the dime to Dontavion Wicks. I mean, no pressure, boom. In the back, like, if you are consistently making throws like that 24/7, and this is what you're doing week in, week out, I just don't see how you can stop a guy like that, for real.
That was on 4th and 2 as well, by the way.
Yeah, good point. 4th and 2, and look, he's just after that, he just gets into that mode, and he beautiful footwork, no hitches, drop the hit. Look, this is what people don't understand, right? The mechanics are a huge thing for quarterbacks. Drop, no legs crossed there, boom, turn your hip and throw, right in the like. He's finding that rhythm. I feel like he struggled to find. And here, boom. Look at on the run, gang. On the run, bro. In the red zone. Bow. Beautiful. Right at the pylon. No, this one is probably the best one of the day. Off your back foot, fading away. Throw it right to the pylon. Arm strength. This is Aaron Rodgers type of stuff. And mind you, this is a guy who played behind Aaron Rodgers. Look at this stuff. I mean, it looks like he learned to pay attention. He's just throwing guys open. And for, you know, I'm a former wide receiver. Nero, you being a running back, you know, you know what it's like. When you have a guy who can just throw you open all the time, you have full confidence you can run in your routes. Boom. Right there. It was a little bit low, honestly, a little bit low. because Dontavion Wicks is tall, but it hit him in stride to get him to where he needs to go. Beautiful play action here. Steps up, avoids the pressure, gets out of there, slides. Like, he's just, the decision making is there this year. And now this season, like, we're just seeing the decision making and how far the decision making is going. But, to move on, awesome job, guys. Awesome segment. To move on, though, we got some more games for you guys. The Kansas City Chiefs. Ben, if you would do the banner honors, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sorry,
Chiefs.
I have like an insect on my microphones. I was looking at that.
Bro's like, hey, a fruit fly, that bitch.
This is right here. You can see it as well.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't know where it went. I'm fucked. All right.
Honestly, I'm just gonna let you guys shit on my team. There's nothing I could say at this point. Do what you guys got to do.
Honestly, I had the Cowboys winning from the start. At home, Thanksgiving.
Wait. You had who winning from the start?
The Cowboys.
I only laugh because I did too.
Yeah, you did. You still picked the Chiefs.
I picked the Chiefs because I was praying and hoping for our predictions going into this week, which me and Nero were tied. Mm-hmm. But now me and Nero are not tied because after the week that I just had for predictions. So, yep, you guys will see that coming up tomorrow. I know I've been telling you guys for the last 2 weeks that's been coming up.
He has been saying tomorrow for the last 2
tomorrow.
weeks.
It was the holidays. I'm sorry we didn't even do new music for you guys. Shout out, Ben. Ben been grinding. Absolutely, you've been grinding for real. Shout out Nero, you've been grinding for real. Same with Luke. Luke has been grinding with the hockey and the baseball stuff too. We got some stuff going for you guys. They've been grinding, but the Chiefs, Cowboys, you guys go ahead. You guys got the floor, man. Until I'm good.
Well, I guess I'll start off by saying,
oh shit,
the Chiefs ain't the same no more. Well, let me rephrase that. What happened to the Chiefs is what I should be asking. What the fuck happened? You know what happened? Joe Tooney got traded and it hasn't been the same. That's really what it is. Offensive line, besides Trey Smith, and even the rookie Simmons. You got 2+ linemen, but everybody else is not on the same page. I forget about Creed Humphrey. Humphrey's had another good year, but the offensive line without Joe Tooney, who was a rock, who was a leader, everywhere he's at, he wins. Hence why he's on the bench right now. You feel me? So that plays a part. But I'm gonna tell you right now. Them fucking cornerbacks can't cover for shit. Those cornerbacks on the Chiefs can't cover for shit. I have to hear somebody complain about him every fucking week. And quite frankly, the person I hear complaining about him, I ain't even gonna say his name because you could probably figure it out. But he's absolutely right. They can't cover for shit. That back.
I do be complaining. I do be complaining.
Fucking ass. What happened? What happened? I'm telling you, man. The Philadelphia Eagles in that Super Bowl. And it hasn't been the same. It has not been the same. You can't cover nobody. You got guys out there not being able to catch passes. You got a receiver out there who was on the Patriots that didn't do shit, and you expect him to do something out there on long passes? No. He can't even do anything on fucking kick returns. What? That's what's going on. There's no... the vibes ain't right now. Andy Reid's, he's older. You know what I'm saying? Pat Mahomes, he needs help. Some guys ain't helping him out there. Guys can't cover. The team's a mess. They're on the outside looking in. Is there hope still? Yeah, because, the season ain't over yet. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. They're on the downfall, man. Fuck them niggas, man. All right.
And Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, Luke, talk to me before. Yeah, Luke, I'll pose a question.
I was gonna say, I believe they have one. Just to put it in perspective, I believe they still have one more against the Chargers, and if they lose that, they're pretty much done.
Indeed, yeah. Yep. Yes.
Oh, and you as a Chargers fan, I know you're over here,
I mean,
but for
it's
you know,
nice, but it's the Broncos are still a force. That to me is the night of the AFC.
Yeah. They say I believe they still play everybody. They play the Chargers, Raiders, and the Chiefs. I mean the Chiefs and the Broncos again, right? All three.
yep.
All right. So the Raiders, we already know what they're going to do with the Raiders, but the Broncos and the Chargers, yeah. I mean, if you can't beat them, hey, happy trails to Cancun for the in the off season. Simple.
I know y'all hit me with this crazy.
Get him up. Let him get up. Let him get up. Let him get up. Fight back, nigga. Fight back, nigga. Fight back. Fight back.
I don't know what to do anymore.
I wouldn't know what to do either. If I were you.
I don't know how quickly. After watching the Patriots for so long, man, and seeing the Patriots and the Colts whoop our ass and the Broncos whoop our ass year in, year out, I just can't fight back no more. At this point, I can't even defend myself.
I'm telling you.
What am I supposed to do? It is Jalen Watson needs to go.
Yes.
This nigga is garbage. Like, I already went on that rant. I'm not going to do it again. But you look at this game and you just look at Patrick Mahomes does what he does, man. 261 and 4 touchdowns. He scored he got all the points. What more do you want him to do?
What more can he
ridiculous. What more do you want this guy to do every week? Seriously, Andy Reid, bro. I shit you not. I swear. Matt Nagy is the worst offensive coordinator in the fucking. This guy's fucking garbage. And Matt Nagy, I'll tell you something right now. No, you're not gonna get up. We're gonna beat you up. This is what it's gonna sound like.
Fight back.
This is what it's gonna sound like when we're done with you after.
Fight back.
Straight up. Straight up. Fight back, nigga, because you won't be able to at this point.
No,
I don't get it. Kareem Hunt, 14 for 58. I mean, Rashee Rice, he was obviously the biggest. Not having him for the first 6 weeks sucked.
Right.
It was horrible. And then having Worthy hurt on top of that, which I still think he's obviously playing through a fucking injury, to be honest with you.
Yes.
I still think he's playing through that shoulder injury because we had him play through that without even coming back 100% healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he's not 100% healthy. And Travis Kelce is fucking old. He can't get downfield the way he used to. The yak don't work the same way it used to. 5 for 45 and a touchdown is cool, but Patrick Mahomes is single-handedly carrying. And Hollywood Brown, 2 for 20 and a touchdown.
Kelce is still efficient enough and effective enough to where I think Rashee Rice suspension, if he didn't get suspended, I could very well see the team at 7-6 right now, because that killed a whole lot for you guys on top of Worthy's injury and lingering concerns. I really think not having some reliable receiver put you guys behind the 8 ball. Now, I'm not saying they would have been dominant or doing their normal thing, but because, like you said, Kelce is older. He's not what he once was, especially with yards after catch, but he's still effective enough. But he can't be playing that role he used to be, because he doesn't have the yards after catch anymore. So when you don't have a Rashee Rice to open up other people's games, it just doesn't going to work out offensively. And then you're asking a lot for the defense, who that secondary has not been great at all. Mm-hmm. So I don't think Kansas City is as bad as their record shows, but this may be best case scenario to get them back on track next year.
I just want to ask you, Luke, what have you been watching lately? We're not as bad as our record seems. No, we're that bad. we're that bad, gang. I can't mince words. I try to tell everyone this wasn't our year. I said it from the beginning. Everybody in this panel group, you guys have seen it. You guys know. I said it. The Broncos were going to win this division outright, and it wasn't going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
When you pay Karlaftis and you pay Chris Jones and you pay these guys X amount of money or however much you want to pay these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't make any improvements. And Hollywood Brown, quite frankly, Luke said this actually in the group chat multiple times. Hollywood Brown needs to get more involved.
Mm-hmm.
He probably does at this point. Worthy looks he just looks hurt. Like I don't know how to describe it to you guys. If you played football, but he don't want to land on that shoulder. He don't want to be touched on that shoulder. And I feel like he's being put in positions and formations to avoid his shoulder. And I'm sure teams are game planning against that. When you watch as much film as you have to do in football, ask me and Nero, we'll tell you. That film every week, film session twice a week in high school, sometimes three times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they might replace your goddamn walkthrough. They might replace your walkthrough with a film session in case you don't even know what's going on. That's how crucial film is in football. That's how crucial coaching is in football. Mm-hmm. And Matt Nagy is not getting the job done. You are too predictable, my guy, at this point. This roster and this team shouldn't be where we're at. And this is what I tell people all the time. Coaching matters extremely to the highest extent in football. It matters the most. In any sport, coaching matters the most in football. I promise you that. I literally promise you that. Maybe you could argue basketball just because there's more plays, there's more minutes to be run. At least
still,
of course.
The way people run around and shoot threes and just get streaky some nights, I would still favor football.
Right. I agree. I agree with you. But I could see why someone would make an argument for basketball. Because basketball is all about putting people in the right position. Whether you're a great screener, you can't be the guy out there on the three-point line 24/7. You got to be running around setting screens. You're the shooter. You got to be running around making sure you cut the right way and cut with the right timing. Like, I can understand to a football sense how basketball could be the same case. Whereas, like, hockey, right? And I don't mean to knock this because Ben's on here. He's another hockey guy. Luke, you as well. We're the three hockey guys, right?
Hello. Hi. Yes.
I think coaching matters less in hockey than it does in basketball and football. And hear me out. You could have a guy like Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid, and you could have a great supporting cast for those guys. And you could have a team like the Avalanche, right? You could have a team like the Panthers, right? And you find that one right leader in hockey, it's a wrap. You're going to be hard to beat. Think about the Panthers, right? Matthew Tkachuk, one of the greatest captains in the league right now. He might be the greatest. The last two seasons, Matthew Tkachuk was probably the greatest captain in all of hockey. Guess what? Does he score goals? Absolutely. But you know what he does the best? He does the dirty work. That's the thing. If in football and basketball, if you can't get your whole team to do the dirty work, that's it. In basketball, if you can't rebound to get your whole team to rebound, it's a wrap. You're going to lose every game. In football, if you can't win in the trenches and win each matchup and everyone can win their matchup, coaching plays a huge factor into that.
And I'm going to back this argument real quick. I'm going to start off by saying with hockey, coaching still matters. I think that
it does. It does. I can't lie. The Flyers are an example. Rick Tocchet and Matvei Michkov. That's a perfect example where coaching does matter.
Hockey is, along with coaching, compared to football, you're expecting a lot more out of your captains to also lead. Whether in football, I don't want to say they just give them out, but the coach has so much more to do with it than the captains do in hockey. But backing information for football and coaches being so much more important there. I look at my team, the Los Angeles Chargers, injury riddled, year in, year out, same deal. I've been hurt too many times. You rewind, what's it been now? 3-4 years since the Brandon Staley days.
Mm-hmm.
Never really had an insane team. Had some talent spread out throughout the roster, kind of like we do now.
Right.
But what's it matter when everybody's always injured? And Staley struggled with that team. Now you put in Harbaugh, and they show instant signs of life. To me, that's a no-brainer that coaching was a huge factor in this team's success and trending the right way now.
Yeah. I mean, coaching's obviously the issue here. Ben, as a Chiefs hater and a Ravens fan,
I know all about it.
how do you feel, bro? How do you feel about this Chiefs team?
It's rough. From the past 2-3 years, it's rough looking. It's really rough. It's not the same look as it was. But it can stop at sun is distracting me.
Get used to it, Ben.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's just not the same Chiefs team that we once saw in the last few years. Like, I know last year, like, oh, okay, all the one score game. Okay, yeah, okay, lucky wins, whatever. But it's just not shown. Like, even last year was shown that this team was just kind of declining. Even with like a 15-2 record, I think. I think it was 15-2. It's just shown that the decline is real. It was happened at some point, and some point is this year.
I mean, I will say again, once Rashee Rice got hurt last year, that whole offensive outlook changed, right? They finished 15-2, yes, but you had a lot of one-score wins, right? And I believe they were 12-0 in that sense right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Obviously, Rashee Rice comes back now, and in his outlook, Rashee Rice still looks like the guy. He looks like Patrick Mahomes' number one guy, right? But when you look back when they got to the Super Bowl, and even throughout the playoffs, they're playing, close games and whatnot. I feel as though that Super Bowl really did a number on them. Because ever since that game right there, and also Rashee Rice missing the first 6 games of suspension, it just seems that the vibe on that team that we looked at for the last 7-8 years on the come up and what they've been, they look more now like as if they've lost themselves, truthfully. It's weird to watch because it's like you have Pat Mahomes, who with the 3 Super Bowls, he's similar to a Brady-esque guy winning these Super Bowls. You have Travis Kelce. You have Andy Reid as a head coach. You look at them similar to how we viewed the Patriots for 20-something years because of who they had, right? And now this is really the first year where you're looking at this team. It's like, man, this is really an inferior team compared to some of these other teams that they're going up against. It's just weird. And I next year they might have to figure it out a little more maybe in the draft to really get more guys, because some of these draft picks, especially their first rounder last year, and I think the first rounder a couple years ago, they haven't really they haven't really done anything to be a real difference maker out there. If they have to kind of shore up the draft, hopefully that helps. But really this year the vibes just really ain't all there. And I really don't know in these last few weeks how can they at least be respectable to at least somehow, some way get into the playoffs. It really might be over for them, at least for this year. They might not go nowhere for real. It probably won't.
It's sad to say too, like there is a real possibility we don't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's fucked up. That's
and
tough.
Mind you, for those that don't know, like, I'm in like a Chiefs group chat with a bunch of people who are Chiefs fans, right? And this was the most alarming thing to me was looking at the scenarios, right? And these scenarios, and I'll just tell you guys the scenarios straight up. Excuse me. So these scenarios are horrible. They're horrible. I'll be honest. It's asking a lot, right? And we were having a conversation in the group chat, but we were looking at these games this weekend. I said, you know how beautiful it would be being this past week if the Chargers lost to the Raiders, the Steelers lose to the Bills, we beat the Texans next week, and the Broncos lose tonight. Now, mind you, all of that obviously didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah. That was asking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But our best scenario too is if the Jaguars, we need the Jaguars to lose to the Colts twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing. You look at the schedule with the Colts, they have to play the Jaguars twice. And if I'm not mistaken, the Colts also have to play is it the fucking Texans? Hold on. Let me look at the Colts schedule. I'll pull it up for you guys right here so you guys can see everything. You guys can see where the thought process is for us as Chiefs fans, right? We got to pray the Colts lose to the Jaguars twice, and the Seahawks, and the Niners, and the Texans. We got to pray they probably lose out, right? And then you look at, what was it? Fucking, let's see, the Jaguars, because they're 8-4, right? We have to pray, like I said, even if, right? We have to pray that the Jaguars, even then, they beat the Colts or they lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they lose to the Colts and the Broncos, we need to pray they lose to the Colts twice. And the Broncos. They're going to beat the Jets and the Titans, for sure. Like, I have no doubt about that. Like, I'm pretty sure they're going to beat both of those teams, right? Even though the Jets beat the Falcons, not convinced that they're going to beat an 8-4 team in the Jaguars.
Right.
And then you look at the Patriots. I mean, not the Patriots. The Broncos' remaining schedule. They have the Raiders, belt to ass. They have the Packers. They might lose that game. It's going to be Jordan Love versus Bo Nix in the ultimatum there. And then you have the Jags, which they might beat them, but we never know after the showing they just had against the Commanders. And they play us. And then they play the Chargers. So this is why it's crucial for us. Because then you look at our schedule, right? We have to play the Texans. Dog. We got to play the fucking Texans, bro, next week.
Oh, yeah.
Then we got to play the Chargers, bro. Then we got to play the Titans. Okay, you know what? As far as the Titans, should be a win. Titans should be a win. Then we got to play the fucking Broncos, dog. Then we play the Raiders to end the year. So,
I will say,
that's
since we've already mentioned the Ravens and the Steelers, and we keep on going by division here, talk about Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs. I am very excited to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think they're out of it.
We're going to get to that. But the question I wanted to pose to you guys, too, is real quick before, we move on to the next game. I want to hear you guys' thoughts because obviously you guys hear my thoughts about that. Are the Chiefs done for? And will they miss the playoffs? And can the Cowboys win out?
Well, what does the Cowboys schedule look like? I should say.
We look at the Cowboys schedule here. And the Cowboys schedule is not all that easy.
No, it's not.
You got the Lions. You got the Vikings, who, mind you, the Vikings right now at this current time are a top 10 passing defense. So, you look at that situation and you're like, okay, cool. Like I get the gist, right?
Right.
Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens might be in hell. Then you got the Chargers, no slouches, playoff team. You got the Commanders, who just hung around with the Broncos and the Cowboys have a worse defense, they could lose. The Cowboys could lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Giants, who obviously they're probably going to win that game. But looking at the Cowboys schedule from here on out, can the Cowboys win out? Can they keep themselves in the race? And are the Chiefs going to miss the playoffs?
I honestly do think that I really don't. It's hard for me to say because, just going off a guy like Mahomes and what he's done so far in his NFL career, similar to Tom Brady, it's hard to really bet against him, right? But if Patrick's giving it his all and nobody's helping him, especially defensively, I don't know. I don't really see the Chiefs doing it this year. They might get sent home packing for real. And it's a shame because if this does happen, Travis Kelce's going to retire. I don't see Travis Kelce obviously coming back next year. There's too much mileage on him. He's not the same guy. You see it. You see the age on him. You do. So I don't know. I really don't see the Chiefs doing it, especially how the Broncos look and how the Chargers look. And mind you, both those teams already beat them this year. I think the Chiefs get some packing early this year. And do I think the Cowboys can win out? I'm going to be bold and say yeah. I'm going to say yeah.
I like it.
And I'm going to tell you right now, George Pickens, we've talked about it before, but George Pickens this offseason, especially if he goes to Jerry Jones, you better give him he better have a blank check, and Jerry Jones better pay accordingly. Because he's been the real difference maker to that offense this year. He really has. He really has. And I think with his presence, I think people got to worry about him and CeeDee Lamb. But if you're too focused on CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens should continue having the field days that he's been having. So I think the Cowboys might do it. I think they might win out.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think the Cowboys can win out. And I think beating the Eagles was such an energy shifter for them. As for the Chiefs, like you said, Mahomes is a great quarterback, but everything that's working against him, they have to play the Broncos yet, they have to play the Chargers yet. Lost both of those divisional games, if I'm not mistaken, in the earlier parts of the season, along with their given record. At this point, I think if you're a Chiefs fan or the Chiefs, whatever, I think you need an act of God to make the playoffs. It's getting to that point.
Indeed. Like at this point, they're gonna need a Giants type of God, like the 2007 and 2011 Giants type of God to really help them, truthfully. Because I tell you, it's sad. It's real sad, like especially who they have at quarterback. It's sad that they're in this position right now. Truthfully, it's a tough watch. It's a tough watch indeed. And if you waste a year like that, you're gonna have all these talks because you already see there's already people online. If Mahomes don't make the playoffs, you can't put him in Brady. Brady made it every year, and that's real fucked up because it's not all on him. It's that defense can't cover for shit. They can't stop shit certain games, and you're wasting his year, and you're wasting a decent year by Travis Kelce, and now he might go out, sad. He might, So I tell you, that's life of the NFL, though. That's life of the NFL.
Absolutely, and posing into Luke right here, and what his request was for the next. It's funny how this is the next one up on the board. The Cincinnati Bengals went and beat Ben's team's ass. They went and beat that Baltimore ass. They knocked the feathers off y'all.
Not only did they do that, they shut Lamar down.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah,
I can't even say anything because you're fucking right. We were so fucking ass.
The defense is absolutely.
I can't even say. I can't even like prove and defend myself because you're literally saying the truth. I literally agree with you.
And not the pour salt in the wound, but you let the Bengals do this.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back!
Yeah,
Fight back!
that's the thing.
Fight back, Ben. What you gonna do? Fight back.
Now, before Ben fights back, because I got a bone to pick. What did I say last week? What did I say last week? I said last week that the Patriots made that Bengals defense look like a top 15 defense.
Yep.
The Ravens made this defense look like a top 5 defense.
I was a top 10, but the 5.
No, you feel me? Like that,
Yeah.
like, come on. Like, and again, here's the thing also, chat. Obviously, Ben is a fan. So he can't do nothing on the field. We can't do nothing on the field for our teams, right? But the shit that I had to witness, because I've messed with Lamar Jackson ever since his days at Louisville. What really hurts me is you got guys like Mark Andrews bullshitting in the fucking end zone. That's points off the board. You got guys on the offensive line who you've had a good offensive line, and they're letting this Bengals defensive line treat them like ragdolls. That, like, this year for the Ravens, ever since that week 1 loss, at times they look so fucking pitiful. There's no reason for the Bengals to come in your house on Thanksgiving night and make you look like a bitch.
On Burrow's first game back as well.
And Burrow's first game back. And that's a guy who hasn't played in 2.5 months.
Since week 2.
Since week 2. And you made him look like, the old Joe Burrow, even with a fucked up toe. They couldn't do, like, come on, guys. Come on, Ravens. Like, now you're 6-6. You just had a 5-game winning streak. And now you look at this team now, it's like, well, that 5-game winning streak don't mean shit now. Because you let the Bengals just do shit to y'all. You feel me?
Yeah.
I tell you, it's sometimes, and again, like I said, it's life in the NFL, but sometimes teams that we should have winning these games due to the talent that they have, whether it's at quarterback, the offensive line, running back, defense, and you go out there and look sorry as shit.
You want to know? You want to know what killed the game?
What killed the game? Yeah.
That likely fumble.
Yes, that
at
too.
the 1 yard line.
Yes.
That
Thank
killed
you.
the game.
Yes.
We weren't the same after that.
Yes.
And then right at that point, and after that fumble, we were like, nope, downhill.
But I'm glad you brought that up, Ben, because what the fuck are you doing trying to play with the ball as you're going into the end zone? You have the ball already in 2 hands. Why are you trying to stick the ball out? You already have it like that. That's the shit right there that don't make sense about some of these guys. Instead of trying to go in easy, right, where he didn't even have a guy hitting at him. He want to play with the ball as he's going in, and look what happened. It got knocked out. Doing
his best Jerry Jeudy impression.
Hey, thank you. Oh my God. And mind you, Jerry Judy's was worse. You know what? Yeah, I'll say Jerry Judy's was worse. It was worse. I was gonna do him. I was gonna do like Liam, but it was worse.
He had just as many drops as targets.
Exactly.
That makes it bad.
It does. That's bad. That's bad. And I'm telling you, man. And we've talked about it already. I'm like 85 to 90% sure that Jim Harbaugh, they're gonna part ways. They're going to.
Yeah, it's up after this.
It's up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's up. And it's sad. It's sad because he's won a lot. He got a Super Bowl, yeah, but they always fall short. They've been falling short after short after short every fucking year. And this year, after that week 1 loss, they just haven't been them. They haven't. And
there's nothing that they can do.
There's nothing
There's really nothing that they can do.
There's nothing.
And you look at it from the standpoint of what is going to happen going forward for this Ravens team. And we'll get into that in a second. But Joe Burrow, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just doing what Joe Burrow does, man. How else can you put it? Chase Brown, 15 for 78, doing his job. Jamar Chase, 7 for 110, doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
No T. Higgins. Spreading the ball around after that. Chase Brown has his own too. 7 on 7 targets. Caught every target coming his way. 35 yards contributed. And you got some of these guys too, like Samaj AP Ryan with a fumble. Like I have that guy on my fucking fantasy bench in our Bay State Media League. If you guys want to go follow that, you guys can follow us every week on @the Bay State Media or follow us on WTHHS617 for the one and only Narrow. But this is just the Bengals with Joe Burrow back, right? and I told everybody when Joe Burrow comes back, be careful. He might save my fantasy season. He might. He
And
genuinely might.
and
Because
not
Daniel Jones has a fractured fibula. And that's who I have as my QB1. And JJ McCarthy was my QB2. So we all know how that fucking worked out for me.
there.
By the way,
There's,
So
there's still ways to go, but I remember telling you guys last week on the Week 12 recap.
Mm.
Joe Burrow smells blood in the water. Do not be shocked if they make a run. They're only 2 games back from taking that division now, or tying it up at least.
Mm-hmm.
Which
The rest
leads to the question.
The rest of their schedule goes Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns. I think those. Now the Bills are still a tough team. Playing the Ravens again.
It's not going to be easy. It's a division game. So
Mm-hmm.
right.
The Bills game. The Bills have been real shaky, and I don't know what to think anymore. So honestly,
Well, no, the Bills aren't in their division.
no, I'm talking about the Ravens.
Oh, yeah, the Bills aren't in the Ravens division.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the Ravens and the Bengals.
yeah.
Well, you lost this one. Good luck now.
Yeah, I know. It's still a division game.
Ravens
Good
are
luck now.
Ravens are 6 wins if I'm correct, and so are the Steelers.
Still, yeah, the Ravens are top of the division at 6-6, if I'm remembering correctly.
Here, we could take a look. Let's take a look. Let's see. AFC.
They are, yeah. 6-6.
So,
It's Ravens and Steelers 6-6, Bengals 4-8, and Browns 3-9. But Browns doesn't matter.
oh yeah, you're not safe.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna be easy. I'm not.
Yeah,
saying
you're not safe.
It's not gonna.
Joe Burrow's back. You're not safe. Luke told everybody too. That is crazy. That is a full circle moment for anybody. For anybody that is watching right now, straight up, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a full circle moment, and we called him crazy because we didn't think Joe Burrow was gonna come back. Well, a lot of y'all didn't.
I
had
think,
Joe Burrow on my
I think
fantasy
the
team.
deciding factor was he's been out for how long. You really didn't know how that first game back was going to go.
Right.
But now when he pulls himself within reach, he's shown it. That's the guy who smells blood in the water, and he goes after it, and he takes it. He seizes the moment. I would not.
He needs it.
If I was the Steelers or the Ravens.
Indeed.
He needs it too because, he's coming back off of obviously a turf toe injury, which if you guys don't know what turf toe is, get hip. Turf toe is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you straight up, one of my teammates had turf toe. That nigga was out the whole season. His whole junior year. It sucked watching that happen, but turf toe is no joke. And the fact that Burrow's back, you know what I mean? But it's just Lamar Jackson is concerning, man. He's hurt. He's visibly hurt. He can't escape the pocket well. He can't get downfield well as he normally does. He's playing on one leg. This Ravens team has a lot to figure out. 17 for 32, 246 yards with a 53.13 completion percentage, 0 touchdowns and a turnover. Derrick Henry, 10 for 60 and a touchdown. Isaiah Likely, 5 for 95, but that's not enough. He can't be the guy getting almost 100 yards every night. I think Zay Flowers got hurt, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing anything about that.
Did someone was it Bateman? Am I thinking about?
Bateman has been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they sat him because he only had one target. So he might still obviously be a little hobbled. But this Ravens team, man, I don't know. Lamar Jackson, 2 fumbles, gang.
Mm-hmm.
This is every week, bro.
And one literally in the red zone
Yeah.
on the defensive side of things.
I can't defend him anymore. I can't defend Lamar Jackson anymore, man. I've tried to the best of my ability, man. To the best of my ability to defend Lamar Jackson. I've tried. I've done everything possible. I've even been nice to Ben. I've been like, hey, I get it. He's playing on one leg. You guys are
And
on a
even
5-game,
and I even agree with you.
but I just can't defend this guy anymore, man. It's Harbaugh might genuinely be the issue. And if another coach and another offensive coordinator comes into the fold, it might be the best option for Lamar Jackson.
No bullshit.
Can't lie.
Now, actually, I was going to say, Amari, real quick before after you go to the defensive stats, how many times was Joe Burrow actually sacked in the game?
Not much.
Joe Burrow, let's take a look. We'll take a look right now.
I think
Once.
Yeah. I had max 3 times. Yep. Yep.
You see what I'm fucking talking about?
Yep.
You see, like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. That offensive line with the Bengals, and you can only sack him one time. Continue.
On a turf toe
Continue.
injury.
Exactly.
On the turf toe as well.
On a turf toe injury. Continue, Mr. Scott. I'm done with the shit.
I'll say one thing. My
Talk to
friend was literally a Bengals fan. Thought Burrow would get fucked against the Ravens. 1 second.
Well, he was the one doing the fucking. I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah.
He was the he was the one doing the fucking. I'll tell you that.
I can't even fucking say otherwise because you're right.
Oh my god.
I wish I could cue the Kevin Hart segment because that would be fucking awesome. Him walking around with the microphone and talking about his dad, talking about he wore sweatpants with no drawers on, walking in my school. Hey, dick swinging and all. Yeah, that was Joe Burrow. That was Joe Burrow. But I pose this question to you guys. Can Joe Burrow lead another end of season win out? And we will start with Ben. Yeah, it's a tough one.
That's a tough one because, like I said, I have a friend that is a Bengals fan, and he wants the team to tank so fucking bad. For 1, to get a good draft spot. 2, for fucking Zach Taylor to get fucking out of the team. He keeps complaining about it. He literally has an account that he's gonna fire Zach Taylor. That's funny.
So I will say this, right? I will say this. The Bengals, right? They have to win out. And they play the Bills.
Yep.
Ravens.
Bills will be this week.
Ravens again, and that's in their building. The Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Browns. They have 3 home games out of 5 of these games. Luke, Nero. Can Joe Burrow lead another end of season win out?
So Burrow only being sacked 1 time. You essentially bought that man another week to recover from the turf toe.
Indeed.
I don't think it's not like he got hammered this week and next week's going to be a doozy. You essentially bought him another week to recover and gain his confidence back that he can jump right into it. They can most certainly win out from here out. You look at the games, Bills, the uncertainty, the inconsistency. There's so much talent there, but yet a lot of it comes down to the defense has been underperforming. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that they can beat the Bills. When you look at the Ravens, who they just manhandled. Sorry, Ben. Cardinals, Browns.
I'm just gonna stop you real quick. I can't even say anything because we did get manhandled. Literally.
And then you look at Cardinals, Browns, and Dolphins. Those are all should-win games, in my opinion. And if they don't, if they miss the playoffs, and if they just barely miss, I think the game that comes back to is they're gonna say, "Damn, we should have beat the New York Jets, and we'd be in right now." They lost to the Jets by 1 point. To the New York Jets. To the New York Jets. To the New York Jets.
He said emphasis on New York for real. Yep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. The Bengals just played the Ravens without T. Higgins.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna say. Now, when it comes to the Bills,
that part as well. Yep.
Exactly. When it comes to the Bills, we don't know what fucking Bills team's gonna be on the field. Right? So, thank you, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Now Joe Burrow is back, right? It's not Joe Flacco starting this game next week, or this week, I should say. We seen Joe Burrow put out a bunch of wins last year to end the season. Fuck it, let's do it again, Cincinnati. You know, hey, Cincinnati, we're on to Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, you feel me?
Fired. Them Patriots bars fire.
Exactly. So, they ain't worried about the Cardinals. The Browns should be able to beat the Browns, unless that guy there
he
fucks it up
on his wrist. Perfect.
Exactly.
Time.
Unless that guy fucks it up. Who else did they play? They played the Dolphins. Is that who else was on the schedule?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I show it to you right here.
Okay, the Dolphins, right? All right. Well, who knows? I mean, if they can end Tua's career right there, they got it.
End Tua's career is great.
You know what I'm saying? But overall, I mean, hey, it's not impossible for them to go 5-0.
Yeah,
it's not. And again, I'm gonna stress it again. The Ravens played this team without T. Higgins. Now he in 2 weeks you play him again and he's back and you couldn't do shit. It's wraps. Joe Burrow.
T. Higgins already back in practice, by the way. So.
He's already back in practice? Well, hey, Ravens, I'm going to see you in Cancun, Mexico. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I can't. Why you put the camera on me? I can't even say anything. I can't even say otherwise.
Yeah.
Hey, goddammit, we're buying Ben a ticket.
No, okay, right. Let's not go that far.
No, I'm playing.
Fight back, nigga. Fight
I
back.
can't even fight back.
Fight back.
I can't even fight back. This team has been so bad that at this point we just don't deserve a playoff spot at all.
You know, you guys are killing it. Awesome. Fucking absolutely. You know, I will say, just to get, obviously move on to the next game here, Joe Burrow can win out. I believe he's going to win out. We saw him do it last year. It was a matter of scenario that the Bengals didn't get in the playoffs. And, if we didn't sit Patrick, if we lost while sitting Patrick Mahomes, right? Well, actually,
if the Chiefs won,
what it was if we won,
yep,
they would have gotten in. And I'll tell you, we did a chess move because we lost that game purposely. I'll tell you that straight up. Vegas might not tell you that. The NFL probably wouldn't want me to say that, but it's checkers, not chess. You feel me? Yeah. Especially at the end of the season, it's chess, not checkers. I'm sorry. You got to dot all your I's and cross your T's. You know what I mean? You got to make sure. We didn't want to see the one man that beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, man. We didn't see one other than Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts. We didn't want to see the one guy beat us. He's already beaten us before. We didn't want to see that again. Straight up. But with that being said, too, speaking of the guy that beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, speaking of my Chicago Bears, I can't say my because
you can't say my, bro.
But my take is aging well because the Chicago Bears beat the Philadelphia returning champion Eagles 24-15 in a convincing win. And I'll just say, my take is aging well already after the first week. Let's go. Hey, man, I will say, this is a Bears team that is steamrolling. They're in the right position. They're in the right slot. They got the right coach. They already got the franchise QB. They got the offense. Rome Odunze is part of the future. DJ Moore is balling. Colston Loveland is finally getting targets. Cole Kmet is still there as a veteran. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. The Bears, shout out to Mr. No Sleep Tyler. You feel me? Shout out to Mr. No Sleep Tyler. He is not here with us today, but he'll be on the next one to see you guys and talk about the Bears. And if you guys want to go check it out, I will tell you guys too. Go check out at Bears Wire. Tyler runs that page with a couple of people. I want you guys to go check out at Bears Wire. Please make sure you guys go check that on Instagram. They're about to start a podcast 1 to 2 times a week. We got Tyler going a little bit. Now he wants to do his own on Bears Wire. You guys might see me on Bears Wire over there. Go check out Bears Wire. Please do that. They might probably have a YouTube too. But with that being said, Caleb Williams, an average game, but up against an elite defense. I get it. Sacked 2 times, but he had a touchdown and turned the ball over once with 17 for 36, 154, and a 47.2% completion percentage. I know it looks concerning, but Kyle Monangai was the story of this game, as well as DeAndre Swift. Both of them combined for 255 rushing yards, as well as 40 attempts on the ground, and combined for 2 touchdowns total, both with an average of 6.9 and 5.9. So basically a 6.7 average. You feel me? 6.7. Heard you. 3 for 36 for Cole Kmet and a touchdown. A little bit of a receiving touchdown there. Kyle. Caleb Williams. I was thinking about Kyle Williams' touchdown the other night. Cole Kmet, 3 for 36. Love the Burden, 4 for 33. Colston Loveland, 3 for 28. Olamide Zaccheaus, 2 for 19. DJ Moore, 2 for 17. DeAndre Swift, 1 for 13. Rome Odunze, 2 for 8. Spread the ball around. You feel me? Yards after catch for Love the Burden, 24 of his 33 yards were yards after catch. 10 of the 36 yards for Cole Kmet for yards after catch. 15 of the 19 yards for Olamide Zaccheaus were yards after catch. 18 of the yards received by DeAndre Swift, even though he had 13. What the hell? That math don't math. Hello, NFL. He had 18 yards for a catch, but only had 13 receiving yards. I guess he must have had a negative screenplay, if I remember correctly, if that's the case. Deshaun Wright. Deshaun Wright continues to make plays for the last 3 weeks. A forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Kevin Byard, the veteran from the Tennessee Titans. Shout out Cam Ward. You feel me? And, Cam Ward's that guy. Get Cam Ward some help. I'm going to start that trend on Instagram. Get Cam Ward some help as a hashtag. And the defense showed up. They came to play, holding them to 15 points. And those were the Bears. The Bears had a tough day offensively still, but grinded out a win. Obviously, as you can see, kicking was a factor. Cairo Santos, a field goal, 3 extra points. He was out there doing his thing. Mr. Taylor, 3 punts and 1 inside the 20, along of 51. I mean, the Bears keep finding ways to grind it out each week, and the Eagles. Jalen Hurts with actually one of his best passing days all season. 19 for 34, 230 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 84.2 rating. And you had 13 for 56 for Barkley on the ground. I don't know. I think the Eagles have gotten figured out at this point. I don't know what it's going to take. But A.J. Brown, it's oddly enough that the Eagles have one of their best, obviously, offensive games moving the ball, because A.J. Brown had 10 catches for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. Call him a diva. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. They should have gotten this guy the ball way earlier. Devontae Smith, 5 for 48, 19 yards after a catch. 30 yards is the longest for his catch. Dallas Goedert, 2 for 27, 5 yards after catch on 4 targets. So you look at this team, a fumble recovery here for Mr. Covey. Jalen Hurts fumble and lost it. That is the fumble, obviously, that Covey caused. I just think this is a problem for the Eagles, but also a problem somewhat for the Bears, enough to a point. So with that being said, I want to pose a question to you guys. And this is an interesting one. Oh, shit. Sorry. Clicked on the wrong one. Stupid. Can my Bears take hold up after being the returning champions?
Well, before this week, I'm thinking that the Bears didn't, not to say that they didn't have a real challenge against them, but they had the defending champions, right, this past week. They went in their house. They ran all over them. And now they're at the top of the division. Excuse me, they're at the top of the NFC. So quite frankly, yes, they can. Yes, they can hold up. And I mentioned this earlier. The offense has been getting going, yes. You see Caleb Williams starting to do his thing. Even on, certain days where completion percentage isn't that great, he finds a way to make plays. Everybody around him, the DeAndre Swifts, Kyle Monangai in the rushing attack, prove effective. Cole Kmet at times. Colston Loveland is starting to come up a little bit. DJ Moore turned back the clock last week. You feel me? Or 2 weeks ago, I should say. So now the offense has came together. The defense has been, honestly, I'm not going to say lights out, but the defense has been there, especially the linebacker core, even when Tremaine Edmonds being out. I mean, I tell you, this Bears team is fun to watch, but I also got to say that I feel like that addition of Joe Thuney has really proved to be a difference maker on the offensive line, because now you got a guy who has been a part of 2 successful organizations, who's the eldersman in that locker room to control the offensive line and everybody else. That has changed this team on the field. Ben Johnson's changed it to put these guys on the field, but that guy right there, and it shows. Everywhere Joe Thuney has been, he's won. All-Pro, Pro Bowler. Might be he might very well go into the Hall of Fame for the career that he's had. You added him to this team, a young team that needed guidance, and look where it's prevailed. They don't rush for what was it, like 250 whatever yards without Joe Thuney. And that's why this team might make a run. And I'm going to tell you right now, 40 years ago was the 85 Bears playing the Patriots. These two teams right now are doing something this year. If I see a Bears-Patriots Super Bowl, it would be crazy, because how coincidental, I should say, is it that 40 years later, both these teams are on the higher up, and both these teams might do something. But the Bears got it right now. They got it right now. They're hot.
Bears, I can't lie. A Caleb Williams versus Drake May Super Bowl would feed families.
Yeah, especially after that game last year, how that went. Yeah, that would be really funny.
A Caleb Williams Drake May Super Bowl would feed families, chat. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you know, but Drake May and Caleb Williams have a great relationship. They respect each other's game. Mm-hmm. They play very similarly. If you really watched both of them, they're able to do the same things very well. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, right? I felt like Drake May's biggest thing was knowing how to utilize his legs outside of college.
Absolutely.
That was the biggest thing for me, because he went to North Carolina, didn't play against the same competition at USC that Caleb Williams played. And Caleb Williams was running around for his fucking goddamn life and making these crazy plays. And obviously in the NFL, you can't run around forever.
Right.
And we're seeing Caleb Williams trying to step in. But Drake May, honestly, if I'm going to be real, he's the best quarterback out of this draft class. It's proven at this point. Mm-hmm. I was an avid Jaden Daniels guy. I was an avid Jaden Daniels can get it done because he went to the NFC Championship game in a hard conference. I get it. But right now we're seeing the efficiency of Drake May with the right coaching. And this is why I tell you guys coaching matters. He doesn't have a Deebo Samuel. He doesn't have a Terry McLaurin.
Nope.
And say what you want about Stephon Diggs, right? He's a wide receiver number 1, but he's coming off an ACL tear.
Yep.
So the way that he looks right now off an ACL tear is magical, absolutely. But to put him maybe in the same breath as Terry McLaurin and maybe Deebo Samuel still, he's definitely above Deebo Samuel, though. I will say that. I can't lie. He's above Deebo Samuel, but still, Deebo Samuel is above any other wide receiver number 2 and number 3 on the Patriots.
Right.
In terms of straight skill and talent.
Right.
So, Caleb's awesome. I respect it. But if you give Drake May, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, and Colston Loveland, oh my goodness.
Right.
I don't even want to see what the Patriots look like with the offense like that.
Exactly.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to get near that. And the Pats might get A.J. Brown and or Justin Jefferson. It could happen. It could really happen. The Patriots have the money. Patriots have the pieces. I don't know. They might. But at the same time, you just look at this situation and you ask yourself, at this point, do we see a Bears and Patriots Super Bowl? We might.
We might. We really might. You never know. You never know how this shit could really play out, bro. For real, for real. That's how crazy the NFL is. Anything could actually happen when it comes to playoff time. No bullshit. If it's that 40 years later after the Bears put belt to the Patriots, that 85 Bears team, and you see them in San Francisco for Super Bowl 60, that's a story. That's a story right there to tell your grandkids and your kids. No cap.
A story to lo and behold, Chad. A story to lo and behold.
And you know what's even crazier, Amari, right? Also, even looking at the Bears team. There you go. Excuse me.
You're good.
It took Ben Johnson about we're in week 13. We're in week 13. It took Ben Johnson 12 weeks to finally start Ozzie Trapillo at left tackle. And what has he oh man, these last 2 weeks, you're looking at this as like, man, imagine if he actually started this kid at the beginning. Second round pick from BC. He's been effective as a extra blocker, I should say, throughout the season. But now finally unleashing him, he shut down who was it? Alex Highsmith. And he even shut down, I think Nolan Smith was lined up over there. Jalen Hunt. That right there is going to pay dividends in the long run. Because he's a stud, and I'm telling you, him right next to Joe Thuney, wow, that's a scary duo right there.
Scary sight.
That's a scary sight. That's a scary sight.
Especially for an interior offensive line, scary sight.
Yes. And you saw how they ran the ball on the Eagles like that. That they made that Eagles. Oh man, I'm not even gonna get crazy. I'm not gonna get crazy. But yeah, that Eagles defensive line, those two, and included everybody else, but especially those two, they made them their bitch. They did.
Woo-hoo!
They did.
He talking that shit.
They did.
He's talking that shit.
They let a rookie make them their bitch. A rookie who it's only his second career start, and he did that. I tell you, I said what I said about the Bears last week, not playing nobody yet. You know what I'm saying? Not having that game that, okay, even though they have a good record, now they're finally arrived. They beat the Super Bowl champions, the defending Super Bowl champions, I should say. I'm telling you, man. Now you gotta hope and pray that the Bears don't really start taking off. You better hope and pray that Caleb Williams doesn't continue to elevate himself, because if he continues to elevate himself, especially completing these passes and being more consistent in his completions, I'm telling you, man, Ben Johnson's gonna cook some shit up.
He's gonna fry.
He is.
He's gonna fry. Absolutely.
He is.
fried,
yeah.
sautéed, however you want it.
Exactly.
Same thing. The same thing. What the Bengals are gonna do to the Ravens, Ben? Fried, sautéed, however you want it, Ben.
Ah,
You know what I'm
shit.
saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just not in the mood to get trashed off now. Sorry.
But Luke, Ben, talk to me. How you guys feel? Can my
I
take
might
hold up
I
about
might
the
need
Bears
to
going to the Super Bowl?
I might need to retract back on my statement last week because I said 2-3 years. This year, next year. Literally. With how this team has been looking, I consider this year, which, like you said, it could be Bears Pats, and it would be absolute fucking cinema, or even next year. I don't see the 2-3 years anymore. Not at all. I see less than that, especially if they continue on improving and getting help on the position that they need.
That's all they gotta do.
Yeah.
That's it. And you know, the defense could use some pass rush for sure.
That's what
Don't get me
was
wrong.
that was implying. Yeah, that's what I was.
Absolutely, like you just said, you know, that they could use some pass rush. But Luke, if you are in here still with us,
Yes.
can the Bears go to an NFC Championship game and can they win it if you are still here with us? He might not be.
We
He
might
might
have
not
lost.
be here.
We might have lost him to sleep.
Yeah, he works early. He works early. So don't, you know, chat. Sorry. We might have lost Luke to sleep. He works very, very early morning. So, you know, no shade there or anything for Luke. But we will say definitely, you know, this whole entire game, 24-15, as you guys can see. It was a great game. I thought it was a great game personally. Ben and I watched it together.
Yep.
If you guys want to go watch us every week too, make sure you check out Bears Wire. Go check out Mr. Tyler. You feel me? Mr. at No Sleep Tyler Andrew. He is in there in the building. He loves to talk about the Bears. He was on here last week with us, if you guys remember. But to go into the next game, you know, speed round through a lot of this stuff now that, you know, Luke's not here with us, but it'll be a lot quicker. The Rams faltered to the Panthers.
They fall
to 31. And now, mind you, with that being said too, I do want to pose a question after I read you guys these stats because Bryce Young is here, guys. Bryce Young is here and he's here to stay. Matthew Stafford, 18 for 28, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions and 2 sacks. Blake Corum, 7 for 81 on the ground and a touchdown. Kyron Williams doing his usual due diligence, 13 for 72 with 1 touchdown. And receiving, obviously, as you can see, Mr. Zay Smith, 3 for 82. Puka Nacua, 6 for 72 with also the catch of the year, which I will show it to you guys real quick since you guys are watching on live. This was arguably the best player of the year. He made a one-handed catch this past week. It was absolutely fucking insane. He went crazy. That is not Puka Nacua's cousin that y'all just saw right here on the screen. That's not her. Look, I mean, you can't teach this.
You can't.
The reverse angle of this makes this even better.
I mean, the sideline angle where you see from the end zone to the sideline here.
Yes.
I mean,
that makes it even better for me.
Look at this release though. Nice little motion, release. Gets inside. See, chat, as a receiver, you need to stack at all times, chat. Stack at all times. Stack him, boom, right there. Stack. Bow.
This angle for me. This angle.
Beautiful technique and just an extremely
just
athletic
robs
play.
it. Just robs it out of the defender's hands.
This is why I told y'all Puka Nacua is the best in the league. I said this 4 weeks ago when he was injured. Puka Nacua is, you know, you guys can give me JSN. That's cool. But if Puka wasn't injured, I don't care what y'all would say. Straight up. We don't want to watch that. it's the Barclays match of the week. But we will come out with a soccer podcast, y'all, soon. That's coming out soon. Matthew Stafford had a fumble. It's cool. It's against a defense that is middle of the pack, not a horrible defense. So you take what you can give for that. And obviously you can see, as you guys can see, the Rams defense had an okay game. Not the greatest of their games of this season. But then we go look at the Carolina Panthers, which, if you guys are any Carolina Panthers fans, or whatever the case may be, we will have a Carolina Panthers theme sweatshirt for you guys. Bryce Young, 15 for 20 on 75% completion. 3 tutties, chat. 3 tutties for Bryce Young, man. And for Bryce Young, real quick, can we just give it up for Bryce Young real quick? I mean, this kid's awesome. Bryce Young might be better than CJ Stroud. He might be. He genuinely might be better than CJ Stroud. And Chuba Hubbard, 17 for 83. Had a nice touchdown run. Why doesn't it show up? It was a pass, right? Okay. 2 for 41 on the pass with a touchdown. Teteroa McMillan, 1 for 43 and a touchdown. Jalen Coker, 4 for 74 and a touchdown. As you can see, this is not a fucking Bryce Young problem. If not even, after the nigga that had 74 yards, which is Jalen Coker, no one else touched 50 yards. So it's clearly not a Bryce Young problem. But I want to pose this question to you guys after looking at these stats, and I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, then I'll be right back. Do we worry about this Rams loss? And are the Rams potentially fraudulent? Or are the Panthers a playoff contender, and are they that good to beat a team like the Rams?
That's a good question. I mean, I would say how that Rams defensive line kind of came out. How the Panthers defensive line came out of it. Derek Brown did his thing. He at times took over. DJ Wanham as well. You look at this Panthers defensive line now, and you can kind of say, you can honestly, in the NFC South, if they play like that for the next few weeks, they might be able to shock the likes of the Bucks. You should get one up on the Falcons. I believe they play the Saints again. I hadn't look at their schedule, but this is a team right now that, because the Bucks are injury riddled, they actually got a shot of actually getting in there. If they can somehow, some way overtake the Bucks, they could shock somebody in the wild card. They can. Now, when it comes to the Rams, I'm not necessarily so much worried about them, but it's also one of these things that you'll look back on this Rams loss and you might say, damn, I wish we would have had that one. Because the Rams overall are a better team. They got 2 dominant receivers. One's a Hall of Famer, and one's, arguably the best, could arguably the best wide receiver in the league with that one-handed catch he had in Puka Nacua.
Yep.
And the way how that Panthers defense kind of got into Matt Stafford is how you're going to have to beat this Rams team. You're going to have to make it hard for these receivers. You're going to have to make it hard for Matt Stafford, where in some sense he's running around for his life. If you can do that, you can beat him. I'm not necessarily worried about the Rams, but a loss like this kind of tells me that the Rams are still the Rams, but if you watch tape on this game, you can beat them. Truthfully. That's what I really think. So for the rest of their opponents, watch the film on Derek Brown. Watch the film on DJ Wanham. Watch that defensive line performance against them. If you do that, you got a shot at beating them. That's really it.
Absolutely.
But I'm not too worried about the Rams, though. I'm not.
I like it.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
Ben, How do you feel? Do we worry about the Rams' loss, or are the Panthers a playoff contender?
Sorry, I was doing posting my final score graphic.
Yeah, go follow him on Instagram, guys. He's a hockey guy. Montreal Canadiens. They got their ass whooped by the Senators tonight. And, Nova, shout out Nova. He's also in here. But make sure you follow at B.DO.
No, B.D. I can't even say my own name. B.DODXY. There you go.
On Instagram. Make sure you guys go follow that. If you guys are interested in any hockey stuff or even just football stuff, even music. He's a jack of all trades. So go make sure you go follow that. But Ben, do we worry about the Rams' loss, or are the Panthers a playoff contender?
No and yes.
Mmm.
I've been low
Just like me for real.
I've been low key on the Panthers train because I've liked what I'm seeing because I've recalled all the time.
He has, chat. He has. I will say that just to confirm. He's been on the Panthers train all season. Trust me.
And I'm like what I'm seeing for this team. Like Bryce Young has only improved as season has gone on, and I think the last 2-3 games, best game of maybe his entire career thus far. About the Rams, I'm not worried. Not like Nero said, you might look back at this game and be like, "Oh, you could have won this game easily," but I'm not worried because it will just bounce back next week. I forget who they're playing against. But I think they just bounced back.
I can pull it up right here for you real quick.
I can't do this, man.
Panthers schedule.
Panthers. They're playing. I don't see. Oh, they're on bye next week. That's why.
They're on bye, but obviously, as you can see, they're playing the Saints. They're playing the Bucks at home. That's huge. A banged up Bucks team at home is huge. They're playing the Panthers. I mean, the Seahawks are playing the Panthers on the road. And the Seahawks have looked pretty vulnerable. They looked very vulnerable against the Vikings. And they're going on the road again to play the Buccaneers. Now, if we look at the Buccaneers' schedule outside of that, right? I'll tell you one thing. They played the Saints at home this upcoming week. Then they play the Falcons at home, 2 straight home games. 2 games you would expect them to win. But we don't know. They're division games.
Right,
we
Saints,
don't know.
Falcons, Panthers in Carolina, Dolphins, and Panthers again in Tampa.
So this is what I would pose the question of with NFC South standings, right? There is a real possibility this Panthers team literally makes the playoffs over the Buccaneers. This is real.
I was talking.
This is real.
I was talking to this with someone. Me and my friend, we would both like to see the Panthers in the playoffs, at least one game. This is the thing that deserves it. But I don't say this because I've recalled all in fantasy, no fucking correlation at all.
Right.
But this Panthers team has been low key good, like very good. They've shown flashes like every year. Like I said, Bryce in the last 2 games has been very good, especially that four passing touchdown game. I don't remember what it was. I think 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. But it only has gotten better from that point, and I think it continues like this. Even if they go on bye this week, I do think they finish with because they're like 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
They could finish like 10 and 7.
They're 7-6,
and they have 5. They have how many games left? I can't do math.
And like we said before, right? We could look at take a look just real quick for anybody watching. This is not out of the realm of possibility, right? The Panthers play the Saints, then they play the Bucks at home, then they play the Seahawks at home, and granted, they'd have to win out.
I could see it making it at probably 9-8. You win against the Saints, you split with the Buccaneers, you lose against the Seahawks.
The only way I see the Buccaneers winning is if the Buccaneers win out. Yeah. And they have to play the Panthers twice. The Panthers and the Buccaneers, chat, anyone who's watching, they are in a battle.
Yep.
Bryce Young is in a fucking battle with the Panthers, right? I mean, the Buccaneers right now.
Bryce Young's
Baker
battling
Mayfield, watch the fuck out, brother. I'm just being honest. You are not safe, Baker. Remember, Mr. Mayfield. I'll tell you one thing, Baker. We don't believe in the Buccaneers. Well, I don't believe. I don't believe in y'all. You can say you took whatever to the playoffs last year. You can say you took the Browns to the playoffs last year. And you know what? Shout out Mr. John Mahar. My brother, my dog, family member. Shout out RJ Mahar. You know, I got to give respect to Baker where it's due. They love Baker Mayfield. The Mahars love Baker Mayfield. They love him, and rightfully so, But I will say one thing. Baker Mayfield may not bring it past the Panthers. It might not happen. And the only reason why I will tell you that and say that to you is because I think Bryce Young is better than CJ Stroud. I don't think Bryce Young is worse than CJ Stroud. Because why is Bryce Young doing what he's doing right now with the lesser team against great teams? And he's doing better than what CJ Stroud could do against good teams while he was still not hurt. I'm just keeping it a stack, chat. Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want to me. But CJ Stroud is not Bryce Young. And if you want us to go through the stats, the next gen stats of this year, we can do that. Because you guys will be in a lot of trouble. And I'm just saying, Bryce Young is the truth. Bryce Young is the future of that franchise.
Ik geef hem een nek, Willem.
They didn't need Cam Newton for anything. You know why? I'll tell you why.
Fuck that guy.
Because if you build around Bryce Young and you really build around this kid, he might actually win a Super Bowl, something Cam Newton could never do. And Cam Newton was hating on Drake May. But Cam Newton didn't dive on that football. And I'm going to tell you something. Cam Newton, I love you, man. You were great at Auburn. You were great in college. The NCAA was good to you. You probably got a lot of illegal money. Guarantee that. You probably did. You know, they probably turned the cheek because, you know, you gave Auburn their shine after who knows how many years. And all that stuff is cool, Cam. But you're not Drake. And Nero tried to tell y'all niggas that last week. And look at how it's aging for him. Drake May is not fool's gold, gang. He's not. And I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Cam Newton. Yeah, hopefully one day you come on this podcast to really explain what you meant because Mr. Nero cooked you. He told you what it was. He told you for what it was, and you are not going to be able to handle the heat after this win. And Bryce Young just beat the goddamn Los Angeles Rams. Mr. Cam Newton, you have a lot to answer to here if you ever see this. And again, you can type love in all your fucking letters and uppercase letters with your weird shit. That's cool. I don't give a shit what you put in the comment section. I loved you, Cam. But now since you ever joined media, you're a hater. And I'm telling you, Bryce Young is here. He's here to stay. And there's nobody you could tell me that's better than him out of his class probably at this point. Because he's had the least amount of talent, the worst offensive line. And he's also now beat the Rams, who are a Super Bowl contender. And just to get into the stats real quick. I mean, This kid is different. 15 for 20, 206, 75% completion percentage, 3 touchdowns. Come on. What are we talking about? This kid's different. This kid's got that it factor. He's got that mojo. He's got that sauce. And as the young kids like to say from Boss Man D-Lo, mo money, mo chicken. That's coming. Mo money and mo chicken. And I'm telling you, guys, real quick. Shout out Mr. Tyler Bears.Wire to the stage.
What's going on?
Bears.Wire. What's
I
up,
made it
Tyler?
on.
How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, dude. I'm feeling good. I'm happy I was able to make it on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. We happy to have you here. And guys, just make sure, like I said before, you guys go on the banner. Please, I said this before earlier, go check out at Bears.Wire on Instagram. Tyler helps run that page with a couple of his friends. He does the whole thing. They're about to start a podcast themselves, and hopefully, you know, you guys will be able to come from our community to go talk to him. And, you know, we already did the Bears segment, but, you know, real quick, before I ask you the posing question, Tyler, before we move on to the rest of the games real quick, you know, we got the Rams Panthers to finish off here, but you know, I think that Bryce Young has so much potential that, you know, Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, great rushing game. Between them both, they both had 160 plus yards on the ground. And then you look at receiving and total yards. If you add them up together with the 160 plus yards on the ground, they both had 62 on the ground. You add that together, 230 plus yards together, total yards for Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle to help him out. And, you know, Jalen Coker did his fair share with 74 yards receiving and a touchdown. And Tedero McMillan, 43 for a touchdown with his only catch of the day with 2 targets. You know, and that's not Bryce Young's fault. The offensive line isn't where we want it to be. But, you know, we go from there. And like I said to you guys before, right? You know, you guys already said this, but Tyler, just want to get your opinion. Do we worry about this Rams loss, or are the Panthers a playoff contender?
For me, so yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that I've seen a lot of people, in my opinion, unfairly criticize Matt Stafford, saying that he's a fraud and, you know, this and that. My opinion, it's just one off game for the Rams. I think they'll get back to it next week. I still think they're, you know, at the top of the NFC. I still think they can make the Super Bowl. I wouldn't put too much worry into them if I was a Rams fan. I think they're still going to be all right. I think, to me, this says more about the Panthers than it does the Rams.
Beautiful. That's why I think the same thing. And my final answer before we move on to the next game, I think we don't worry about the Rams in this game. This is not a game where you worry about the Los Angeles Rams. This is a game where it really shows how far the Panthers have come in the past 2 years. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It shows how far the Panthers have gotten to the point where they're supposed to get to. And speaking of points and where people are supposed to get to, I will say this one thing as a disclaimer. I invite all hate. However you guys feel about this man, whatever the case may be, I don't care that he lost 26-8. But the San Francisco 49ers put up 26 points against the Cleveland Browns. They won 26-8 this past week. And I do have an interesting question to pose to you guys, because I think this guy might be the future. And I think another guy on the other side might have some questions to ask himself, but he got his contract. So, you know, there's really nothing they could really do about that. And Kyle Shanahan, you're a fucking idiot. Because I'll tell you one thing. And I might tell you multiple things, but I'll tell you one thing. Brock Purdy, brother, you're overrated. You're a bun. You're not good. I don't like you. as a football player. You might be a cool guy. You might be Drake May-esque. They might call you Brock Purdy, whatever the case may be. Your ass, brother.
At least it's not JJ9 McCarthy.
No, stop lying. It's getting that bad.
Again, that bad? All right, let's go that far.
No, this guy sucks. He's not good. This is the guy they paid. Yo, okay, let's just look at the contract, right? I'm going to just say. Look, this is the guy you gave 5 years, $265 million to? What are you talking about? What are we doing? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then we go to his game log, right? This is a guy you gave $265 million to. This is unbelievable. Dog. I mean, this moves, y'all. I'm just being honest. This is a guy you paid almost $300 million, and this moves, y'all.
I let me just say, I knew that contract was better, so it was signed.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was better.
Anyone who's watching who's a 49ers fan, or anyone that's a Brock Purdy believer, I know a couple out there. I love you, River Brown. I do. I love you. Shout out Pick a Side Podcast. Shout out Joel Dells, Joel Moran, Mr. Andrew Velez. Guys, this guy's not it. For $265 million, I'm just saying. It's getting wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I can do it anymore. I tried to defend the guy. I tried to the best of my ability. I tried to do everything to make sure this guy, he was protected. 16 for 29, 168, 55.2 completion percentage, and a touchdown with a sack. Christian McCaffrey, ultimately the story in this game. 20 for 53 on the ground, rushing with a touchdown. And 4 for 21 in the air. So Christian McCaffrey, once again, carries this team with his two legs on both sides of the offensive ball. George Kittle, 4 for 67. It looks like Brock Purdy spread the ball around. That's cool. That's cool. And you play the Browns. I get it. I get it. I want to give you guys the benefit of the doubt. I do. I really do. And the defense, obviously, everyone, as you can see here, in terms of total tackles, solo tackles, tackles for a loss, the only three guys is Mr. Farrell, Mr. Stout, and Mr. Mustafa. And then you look at the bottom here. Okay, Mr. White, yeah, you got one. But no real defensive impact from the 49ers enough to a point. This game should have been a blowout if everybody believes in the 49ers like how they say they do. And Shedeur Sanders. I've been waiting for this, chat. I've been waiting for it. And I've been waiting to pose this question. But before I pose this question, what the fuck is wrong with niggas? Let me tell you why. How are y'all gonna hate on this? And he got hurt in this game, right?
Yes,
And
he did.
prayers
He
up,
did. He
prayers
did
up.
go. He did go to the medical tent for one.
Why
play.
do y'all hate this kid
He was
because
fine.
of his dad?
I forgot.
It's getting tiring. It's the same shit you did with LeBron's kid. It's getting fucking tiring, and I'm sick of it. Why are y'all hating on this kid at this point? Because you can sit here and fucking tell me all you want. Shedeur Sanders is not good, better than Dylan Gabriel, right? But at the time where Dylan Gabriel went up against a certain defenses, he went up and scored touchdowns. Those were some of the worst teams in the NFL now, currently in this current week. And I'm just saying, I don't want to hear nothing about Dylan Gabriel this, Dylan Gabriel that. We've seen Shedeur Sanders do things that Dylan Gabriel couldn't do all season. And I don't need anybody talking shit no more about Shedeur Sanders, because you will get on this podcast and I will argue you. And we're going to go at it for however long we need to, because I'm tired of y'all slandering this kid. is getting tired. And stop hating on this kid because you don't like his dad's ego, which he deserves to because he's one of the greatest athletes, forget NFL players, to ever live. He played in a World Series and a Super Bowl in the same month. How many of y'all can say you ever fucking did that? How many of y'all could ever say your parents or your fucking favorite player ever did that? You're embarrassing. Get off this kid's dick.
Pause.
No pause.
Fair enough.
No pause. And I'll say it again. No pause, Ben. Get on his dick.
I'm good.
Start there riding, Ben. You feel me? It's getting crazy. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing it.
I'll go on the train. I would just won't go to the point of riding.
Oh, you heard that, y'all? You heard that? Wait. Whoa, wait. He's gonna get on that dick.
That's
He's
not what I
gonna ride
said.
the whole
That
thing.
is
He
not
said
what
he's
I-
gonna get on the train full length. Ben, I can't lie to you. This is your moment. Yeah, let you get up.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
So, Ben, I know we'll let you be the first to go here. And after the stats here, we'll show you the stats real quick. Ben, if you can move us to the stats real quick.
Of course.
Shedeur Sanders, 16 for 25, 149 yards, and a touchdown, baby. Come on. What is we talking about? And he got injured. Don't get me wrong. You can say whatever. Dylan Gabriel threw one completion for one attempt. Okay, cool. But guess what? 93.6 QBR, or well, not QBR, quarterback rating. It's oddly enough, rating and QBR is two different things if you guys don't know. So just want to make that clear. But 93.6, almost 100 on 64% and a touchdown, averaging almost 6 yards a pass. I want to pose this question to y'all, right? After, Quinshawn Judkins, 23 for 91, big benefactor the last 2 weeks. Jerry Jeudy had as many drops as many targets in the last 2 games.
See, that's what I meant earlier.
Just making that clear.
That's
So
what I
for
meant
all
earlier.
y'all, and then just to tell you guys, right? I wish I could go to Threads right now because I can't go to Threads because I'm not logged in on Chrome on Threads. I will get that for you guys so I can see some of the other football posts, right? But on Threads, I've been seeing some things, and Jerry Jeudy didn't play this bad when Dylan Gabriel was at the helm. Interestingly enough.
He was really bad with Flacco.
He was really bad with Flacco, but he was also really bad with Dylan Gabriel. And combined for Dylan Gabriel and Flacco, he had 8 drops, right? Or it was 8 to 10. Can't remember. It was 8 to 10. It was 8 to 10. I saw the stat. It was 8 to 10. And then you go to a certain situation where now he goes to Shedeur Sanders and he has 4 drops in 2 games. I'm not going to say the fix is in, but when you're throwing to a guy like that who can't catch the ball outside of you, they need to trade Shedeur Sanders. Stefanski, if you want to save your job, you better do something that is going to make sure that Shedeur Sanders is probably out that building to a better team. And if you look bad, whatever, that's cool. But guess what? You believe in Dylan Gabriel so much, why don't you stand on him? How about that? Because clearly, obviously, from what we've seen, if you watch film or you watch these games, Shedeur Sanders has been visibly better than Dylan Gabriel. I don't care that the schemes are different. They have different skill sets. Dylan Gabriel can't run too much. The whole objective for Dylan Gabriel is to get the ball out quickly. They're not even running the same offense with the same players with the same amount of reps for Shedeur Sanders. And they set this kid up for failure. And Kevin Stefanski, you should be fucking fired, you bitch ass. You're not going and honestly, I like Dylan Gabriel. Obviously, I didn't think he was that good coming out of Oregon. But at the same time, I still think this kid has a lot to prove. And the only reason why I tell you he still has a lot to prove is because he's on the Browns. The Browns suck. They're laughable. They're horrible. Whether you're Baker Mayfield or Joe Flacco or fucking Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, you are not getting anywhere, and my point still stands. Now, with that posed question, we're just going to dive into the other stats real quick on the other side for the Niners. Brock Purdy, 16 for 29, 168, 55.2% completion percentage and a touchdown. So, what's crazy to me? Everybody shits on Shedeur Sanders, but why did he have the same stat line as Brock Purdy, who went to the NFC Championship game?
Right.
Oh, y'all want to hate on this kid, but he had the same stat line. And ultimately, you guys shit on this kid, and you said, oh, he's not this, he's not that. But I'll tell you one thing. Are you sure this kid ain't this, ain't that when he's going toe-to-toe for Brock Purdy in this game? Two teams with top 15 defenses. And you could say the Browns are obviously a top 7 defense, but hey, the San Francisco 49ers are at least top 10 in one total defense stat. And they're not far off, and it's sad that y'all hate on this kid. But to pose the question for you guys after reading the stats, right? Can Shedeur Sanders be the foreseeable starter? And I want to hear you guys' opinions.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. I said it last week. There's a reason why Dylan Gabriel was picked before Shedeur Sanders for this franchise. Dylan Gabriel has the same agent as Stefanski. Almost blanked on his name. That's how much he sucks.
Yep. Trash ass name.
Exactly. He has the same agent as Dan Lanning, his college coach at Oregon, right? Just to be funny. And even Will Venables at Oklahoma. So the last 3 head coaches he's had the same agent as him. There's some favoritism right there. He's now in the NFL with his coach as the same agent, right? But guess what? An agent can't get you talent that's on the field. An agent can't win you a fucking football game. Dylan Gabriel won a game, yes. But it was against the Dolphins, and they really didn't have to do too much on offense. The defense did the work, right? Shedeur Sanders was able to win a football game against the Raiders with the help of his defense, yes. But what was the difference? He was able to throw the ball 40 yards down the fucking field on a dot, right? Now, if Dylan Gabriel can't do it, but Shedeur Sanders can do it, and Shedeur Sanders has the higher ceiling, what makes it so hard to keep that kid as a star? You know why? Because everybody wants to hate on Dion. Everybody and their mama in the NFL, I should say, want to hate on Dion. But you can't do that. You can't stop this. Anybody who's stopping this is just making a horrible mistake that'll get you fired. So if Stefanski wants to save his job and wants to continue being the coach of the Cleveland Browns, you better continue to have him as a starter. Because if you want to have this favoritism for Dylan and you want to keep Shedeur on the bench, fine. But you're about to be out of there, and quite frankly, if I'm Shedeur Sanders and his representation, I'd ask for a trade in the offseason. And you know what? If I were a certain NFL team with a certain player that's on there that already played with them in college, I'd send Shedeur to Jacksonville.
Send him to Minnesota.
I fuck with Jags, but Minnesota would be tough too. I say Minnesota too.
JJ McCarthy.
Minnesota actually would be tough. It would be tough, actually. No, I like that. It would be tough. It would be tough.
Pair him up with JJ and Addison.
Yeah.
You know,
No bullshit.
Pair
I had
him
to
up
think
with
about
JJ
that.
and
Yeah.
Addison. Why not?
Yeah.
What do they got to lose? You know what I'm saying?
They don't got nothing to lose.
Nope, nothing.
They
But
don't.
Ben, Tyler, can Shador Sanders be the foreseeable future?
I think he can, and I think he should be. I think he should be the starter for the upcoming weeks. And unfortunately, though, it's really hard for Browns quarterbacks to have successful careers. But I'll tell you what, though. They do have a couple pieces on offense that I kind of like. Like, Judkins is pretty good. I think Harold Fannin shows flashes every now and then.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy has his moments, but they need to get him some more help, though, for him to have an actual good career. Their defense is fine. They just need more pieces on offense to surround him if they really want to maximize his potential.
Absolutely. Beautiful. I love that you brought up Harold Fannin.
He's been pretty good.
Exactly. And that's a guy who has made waves. He's, you know, he's a yards after a catch, as what they would say, yak merchant. But
yeah,
you can't take that into account if Shador Sanders puts the ball in the right place to get it to him. And it looks like they have a connection. It looks like Myles Garrett is really rooting for Shador Sanders to be the starter. And a guy who, a guy who is considered the best guy in the building and one of, honestly, the best player of all time, as we saw this past week. You saw a little bit of what the 49ers were saying to Myles Garrett on the way out of the game. They were calling him the best ever. He might be the best defensive player ever to ever play the fucking game. And this kid's rooting for Shador Sanders to be the quarterback. And that bothers some people. It might even bother Ben, who's a Ravens fan. But Ben, it might bother you. But can Shador Sanders be the foreseeable starter, even though Lamar Jackson's a fraud?
That was so unprovoked. That was so unprovoked. But yes, yeah, absolutely can be. This is his second game, right? Because the first one was against the Raiders.
Yep, this was his second game.
He's gonna improve from here, honestly. And I think him playing the second game, I think really showed that he can be even better than he has shown in the first game. Because before the first game, he hasn't got a full first team rep ever.
Right.
So now that he has some, it will continue having some. I think he'll only get better from it and we have better games. As a Raider fans, maybe that worries me because they're the same division. Not yet.
But it's the truth, Not yet, obviously, like you said. Not yet. Like, he's not like a playoff, like, he's not going to lead them to the playoffs. He's not going to make any crazy movements and be like, oh, yeah, he's going to throw for 300 yards for the rest of the season. Like, they have a decent enough schedule, which I'll pull up real quick before we move on to the next game. He's the starter next week. He's going up against Cam Ward. For those watching, we're going to preview Shador Sanders versus Cam Ward tomorrow, Wednesday. Give you guys a little bit of time as you guys are watching the recap now. He'll go up against Cam Ward this upcoming Sunday. We'll preview that game for you guys tomorrow. I know we have been kind of promising you guys not a Shador. We've been kind of promising you guys a Drake May breakdown. Nero and I will have that for you soon. Don't worry. We'll have a breakdown of that, a couple players or whatever the case may be. We'll have that for you hopefully by Saturday, maybe Friday, Hopefully we'll have that for you guys. Me and him will coordinate that to make sure we get that to you guys so you guys can see our analysis side and how we get into making our picks, which real quick, obviously, since we were all on this topic, before we move on real quick, make sure you go check out at Bears Wire. Mr. Tyler is in the building. And make sure you guys go check that out. They're going to be starting their own podcast. Hopefully, I'll be making an appearance whenever they decide they want me to make an appearance. I'll be on there for you guys. You guys will see me on there, but Tyler is taking the reins. He's going to have a podcast for at Bears Wire, so make sure you guys go follow against one more time at Bears.Wire on Instagram. But we have a question for you, Mr. Tyler. Can my Bears take hold up after beating
incredible.
The returning champions. Can the Bears make it to an NFC championship game? And can they win it? Is that possible?
You know, Amari, last week I said that I wouldn't be shocked if we had only won one more game. I agree with you now.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Beating the Eagles,
Let's go.
that proved a lot. Like that showed me a lot. We having two running backs rush for over 120 yards. Like the Eagles' defense is what I was worried about the most. Like, and we just absolutely killed them. Like Jalen Carter, like the whole defensive line, we just made it look easy the whole game. Like Ben Johnson has us like working, and if the only thing with Caleb though is just his accuracy issues. If he can get that just a little bit better throughout these last couple weeks of the season, heading into the playoffs, that's going to help us out so much. Because here's the thing: if we can hold on, I'm not going to say we're hold on to the 1 seed, but if we can somehow beat the Packers at least once and win a couple of these games and hold on to the division lead and host a playoff game, maybe 2, the way our style of play is fit for cold weather. And we play in Chicago, so running the ball, our defense is getting more healthier. So having a good defense, being able to run the ball, that works in December, that works in January. So if we can host playoff games, I think we could make a run. I do agree with you now.
I believe in y'all from the beginning of the season, man. This is, Ben Johnson, like you said, Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, playing in the cold, in the elements. Being in there, being in the mix, playing against the Vikings, playing against the Green Bay Packers in the cold, all this stuff.
Yep.
It makes for a mold of a guy, especially Ben Johnson, who might shock the world. Ben Johnson might shock the world. He might. And this is a guy who was a bona fide offensive coordinator with a more talented offense in the Lions, but almost an equally as talented offense in the Bears. And you see what he's doing record-wise as a head coach. It's rare you see a guy go from coordinator to head coach to have this amount of success. Josh McDaniels couldn't even do this. Real shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at this situation and the Bears, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad we're here now because we might see a Drake May versus Caleb Williams Super Bowl. That might be a thing.
That would be so special.
It would.
That would be one of the most special second-year quarterback or third-year, whatever you want. Like, I think it's second-year quarterback moments we would ever see.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even get to see Brady versus Manning, until a certain amount of aspect. We didn't get to see Rodgers. What was his draft class? Jamarcus Russell, we can't even count him, so that sucks. So maybe Rodgers is by himself. I tried on that one. But,
Alex Smith was in that draft class.
Well, as a Chiefs fan, he was never getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully, he was never taking us to the promised land. Like,
Mm-hmm.
But you see that situation, you might see a Drake May versus Caleb Williams Super Bowl, but. To move on to the next game here from that, the Texans beat the Colts 20-16. The elite Texans defense was able to stop Jonathan Taylor. They were able to keep Daniel Jones suppressed, who is also on a fractured fibula, just to make everybody understand that. But I pose a question to the rest of the panel here. Are the Texans a threat to make an AFC championship berth?
No.
Talk to us. Why, hater? The Ravens suck.
Our slogan is "Let's get negative." After all, I'm aware.
Yeah, you already know. What's the slogan, guys? Let's
get
negative.
I do think if they continue to play, I think we had talked about it earlier another day, whatever.
We did.
I do think if they can keep that defense going, and be a good defense, I do think they can make the playoffs. Now, if they can make the championship, I don't know about that. Because it's gonna be tough.
Ooh,
It's gonna
why?
be tougher in the playoffs. I don't know who the possible opponents they can have in the playoff, but it's gonna be tough for them to hold up. Like it's not just only defense. They have the best defense in the league,
Well, I'll
but-
tell you off rip.
but the offense is shaky.
Patriots, Broncos, Jaguars. That's what it's looking like right now at this moment.
I can see beating the Jaguars, Patriots, Broncos gonna be very difficult, especially if Broncos is in Denver and Patriots is in New England.
I love it. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I do think they could beat both of those teams too. Absolutely.
No, I meant the other way. I meant they're gonna lose.
You think they're gonna lose?
No, with that all shaky offense, it's gonna. I don't see it.
But you don't trust that the offense has at least shown up in big moments in the last 4 weeks?
Yes, and I saw that, but against the Broncos in Denver, it's gonna be tough. The fucking sound.
You'll get used to it.
The Patriots in New England, it's gonna be closer than the Broncos game, but I don't think they're still gonna lose. But I can see them beating the matchup against a possible matchup against the Jaguars. I can see that. Of course, I can maybe see the Patriots. Maybe now we talk about it, but the Broncos, I just don't see it. Not with how they're playing.
Hey, bro.
My man just muted it.
You think okay, wait. You believe that this defense couldn't stop the Patriots?
No, I retracted on that. I think they could beat the Patriots.
And what makes you think what makes you think they could beat the Patriots? Like, I'm curious because I think they can too, but I want to see if we're on the same thought process.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. The receiving core can have a monster game.
Yeah.
It all depends on the quarterback.
Yeah.
It literally all depends on it. Nico Collins, Higgins, and whoever else they have.
Hutchinson.
It all depends on them. If if the QB is on, I can see them winning. The teams.
If CJ Stroud finds out his rhythm these next couple weeks and they make it into the playoffs, dog, I'm sorry, it's up for the Patriots. This defense, Drake May has not gone against the number one defense all year. The Houston Texans are the number one defense in the NFL.
That's fair.
He hasn't even faced a top 5 defense all season. This defense might throw looks at him. They might do things to him he's never seen before. And you know what? As a Patriots fan, you know why you can't be mad? You know why this should be more than an overachievement season? It's because you look at this situation and you really say to yourself, we'll take what we can get and let's just make sure the offensive line is healthy and let's shore up the defense.
Yeah.
That's really, as a Patriots fan, the best you can wish for is that you come out and you go against the Texans or the Broncos and you come out and you make sure that that is a shootout. I would love to see Drake May versus Bo Nix in the playoffs. And the Texans, in my personal opinion, to answer my own question, the Texans are a threat to make the AFC Championship because that defense is elite enough where they've kept them in games for the last 6 weeks.
No, I can agree with that part. That's my whole point. It's just that offense can be shaky at times.
It's the most elite defense in the whole entire league right now. And if you want to say the Denver Broncos, that's fine. I'm not going to argue against you. It's really Houston versus Denver as far as number one. But I'll be real. This is a defense that should scare everybody in the AFC, even myself, who's been a Chiefs fan my whole life. I don't want to see the Broncos or the Texans in the first round. I would rather see the Patriots. because of the pass defense and what Patrick Mahomes could do against the pass defense that is bottom 20. That's how I feel about it. But the Texans are a threat to make the AFC Championship berth. Now, Tyler, Nero, is this team a threat to make an AFC Championship berth?
I mean, I think it is defense because of their defense. Obviously, their offense, I mean, it's somewhat similar. If they were to make an AFC Championship, it would be similar to the 2000 Ravens. They had the defense, and the offense just made enough plays, i.e. guys like Shannon Sharp, Jamal Lewis, to get them a Super Bowl ring, right?
Yep.
But with this defense right now, especially who they have on the edge, who they have in the back end, I feel like they can surprise a good amount of teams defensively. Offense might be a work in progress, but if you can win on defense, get turnovers on defense, win the field position battle due to sacks, negative plays on defense, they have a shot. But I will say this, since the Patriots came about. There's one guy that CJ Stroud had that Drake May now has that Texans team beat up on the Patriots on Christian Gonzalez last year, but he is now a New England Patriot and kind of knows how that defense is run, because he was there last year. So if Stephon Diggs can give him some insight in how to beat that team, the Pats might have a shot. But I will say this. If it's an AFC Championship game in New England, based on it being in New England, the Patriots should have a shot in winning, but I would probably put my money on the Texans in that sense because Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter on that edge might cause a lot of havoc, and Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley, those are two guys right there that can put some pressure on Drake May in the back end. So I really do think the Texans, if it came down to a Patriots game, they might have a better shot at winning the game. And I hate to say that. But just looking at it without watching a game, they got a shot. They got a shot.
Tyler, how do you feel?
I think Houston could make a run this year. Starting with Denver, for example, I think that with how good Houston's defense is, I personally haven't really liked what I've seen out of Bo Nix this year. I know that's kind of crazy because they're like 10-2 or whatever, but their offense just hasn't been as consistent as I think it probably should be. So I think that with how good and physical and how aggressive Houston's defense is, I think that could cause problems. It could kind of like throw Bo Nix off in a playoff game. I think they could beat them. And then for New England, I agree with what you said, Amari. I think that because Drake May hasn't faced a defense nearly as good as Houston's is, I think that could catch him off guard and they could upset them in the game as well. Now, as far as Houston's offense goes, that is still a work in progress, but I do like the connection that the Stroud and Nico Collins have. And Dalton Schultz, he's okay, but I think I would like to see him be more of a security blanket for CJ Stroud. But if the offense can click, they could make a run. I do think so with how elite their defense is. And they have really good coaching too.
Man, he's killing. That is bars. I don't know what to tell y'all, chat. That is the most well said, probably more than I could say it. Like, I'll tell you one thing too. Like, it's not that I believe in CJ Stroud to take them to the promised land, right? Like, there's obviously still some kinks to work out, but obviously I think Bryce Young is better than CJ Stroud. That's just me. A lot of people wouldn't agree with that, but I think he's better than CJ Stroud. And for me, the whole purpose of this also is that you look at what you just said, right? And Drake May hasn't faced a defense like that all season, other than probably Buffalo. Real shit. In terms of passing, probably Buffalo. Hasn't faced a top 10 team in pass all season.
Mm-hmm.
He might get starstruck. He might get a stage fright. That might be a real thing. And I'm not saying he's going to get stage fright because he's not ready for the moment. Because Josh McDaniels is there. Mike Vrabel's there. Veteran staff is there. I'm not saying he's going to get starstruck because of the moment. It might just come down to they might know how to neutralize him to the best possibility he's seen all season out of anybody. They might they might have already, not already, but they might figure it out within the next 2 weeks. Like, oh, if we got to go up against the Pats, let's figure out what Drake May does the best and what he doesn't do. So if the Texans can figure that out, like Tyler said, and CJ Stroud gets the offensive clicking and Nico Collins starts becoming the Nico Collins we saw the last 2 years, like, it could be a moment. It could, but not much to say about this game. Saints, Dolphins. Saints lost 17-21. I'm sorry. Apologize. Just to go over the stats real quick. This will be quick. I mean, I got a question to pose for you guys, but also at the same time, like, it's not anything crazy. So, like I said, 17-21. Tua Tagovailoa is Tua Tagovailoa. Tyler Shook is Tyler Shook. 26 for 38 and 68.4, 2 touchdowns and an interception with 4 sacks. Now, Devon Vele, 8 for 93 and a touchdown. Chris Olave, 4 for 47 and a touchdown. The Saints, obviously, it looks like they were killing it, right? But obviously, ultimately, they had lost this game. The Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa, oh, Jesus Christ. This nigga's name is fucking crazy. Tua Donnie Tagovailoa, 12, 23, 157, 0 touchdowns, interception. No scoring plays, just a straight interception. Devon Achane, 22 for 134 and 1 touchdown, was obviously the savior of the game for them. Darren Waller, 2 for 47. Jalen Waddle, 3 for 40. Marcus I don't know if it's Marcus. Mr. We'll say Washington, 4 for 30. 5 targets, and now I want to pose this question to you guys because it's an interesting question, but, with the way Tyler Shook played this weekend, is Tyler Shook the Saints QB of the future?
I mean, you can give him a shot for a couple years, but I mean, I would say by like maybe year 3, they probably go in a different direction if he doesn't play that well. But he's also on the older side as well. So like by year, let's say if he plays out his rookie contract, by year 4, he's probably going to be around 29 years old. Right?
Right.
So at that point, if he's not giving you, if he's not giving you like that type of you could very well, if not this year, next year, they draft somebody more in the upper echelon. Maybe if they were to do it this year, Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, et cetera, whoever it is. But I mean, since he's doing okay, it's not like he's really doing anything wrong. He's doing all right. He really is. Like, he's doing a lot better than, in a sense, Spencer Rattler in terms of at least kind of commanding the offense and kind of putting pieces into place, especially with beating a team like the Panthers a couple weeks back. So, I mean, you could give him a shot for obviously the rest of this year, maybe, and then next year, maybe even a third year. But due to his age and also him not being like an it factor type of guy,
right?
You could probably you could end up trying to get his replacement this year if you really wanted to. If you see the vision, if Kellen Moore sees Kellen Moore, if he sees the vision, yeah, you could go after a QB this upcoming year. Now, if they do it for their first round pick, I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, it's kind of dumb. Like, you just got a rookie quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But you got to have some oomph in that quarterback position. You got to be able to have a guy just like these new age quarterbacks that could probably do it with their legs, that has a smooth arm. If you see that in the draft this year, go for it. You know, but it doesn't necessarily say you have to start him. You don't necessarily have to start him immediately, but you do have Tyler Show as the bridge in that sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I don't hate it, you know. I don't hate it at all. I think he could be. Depends on the potential. He saw it a lot this past week, like you said. They saw, you know, this Saints organization saw it a lot. So, Ben, Tyler, is Tyler shook? The Saints QB
I
of the
think it's
future?
worth it to go ahead and just give him a shot, see how he does next year, and then they could, if they don't like what they see out of him, they could go ahead and draft the guy in 2027 where maybe there's some better options. I don't really think
You might be muted, big dog.
No.
Am I?
No.
Is that me? Am I retarded?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Okay, give me a second. I'm slow. That's me.
No, you're
That's
good.
my fault.
You're good.
Yeah, you have been talking about it. I'll keep going.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really think you have anything to lose if you're the Saints. I think go ahead and give him a year, see how he does. And then, yeah, the next year, 2027, they could, you know, maybe they help some better options if they don't like what they see out of him.
Yeah,
next year.
I don't mind that. I would give him a full year. Because when did he start? The first game started was like week 6, I think it was.
Somewhere around there, yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
I would give him a full year and judge from there.
Yeah.
That's where I would go. Like if it really doesn't work out next year, you just drop a quarterback, like either first for 1, 2, 3, or whatever round you want to do next year. In 2027.
I agree, and honestly, I mean, even with him, because again, he's really not playing that bad. He's actually doing well.
Yeah, that's why I would give him one more year to see what he's really capable of.
Exactly, and if I were the Saints, if you want to at least wait a year, then definitely in this draft, get him some help, get him some young talent around him, whether it's at receiver, maybe another running back, you know, to pair with a guy like Neal. Because Neal, so far, even at running back, has shown some promise that he could be a capable starting running back for a little bit, but you need somebody else in that. So if you want to build around him, you most certainly can. But like Ben said, and even with Tower said, just give him a year, and even me too, just at least give him a year. You know, it doesn't hurt. I mean, the Saints aren't going to be that team that they were before winning a Super Bowl, going to the playoffs for at least a couple years. If you want to give him a year, let him see what he does. If it fails, then go back to the drawing board. Kellen Moore can find somebody else. But I mean, with his age and experience, in a sense, like he can do well in the NFC South. He can.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. No doubt. Like, I think that he could really make some moves. And, you know, like you said, and Tyler said, both of y'all were both absolutely spot on. Like, I was able to catch, obviously, both of those. And, you know, you look at these stats and they're here. Almost 70% completion percentage, 239, 2 touchdowns. Like, they're here. That's a guy that a lot of people thought wasn't going to make it enough to a certain extent. But he's here. He's making it happen. He's making it shake. So,
indeed.
You know, excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. You know, you love to see that coming to fruition, especially when everybody was doubting him. But to pose the next game here, I mean, not much to say about this game, dude. Like, you know, the Falcons played the Jets. I mean, I don't want to be a dickhead, but
game winning field goal, move on. All right, there you go.
Yeah, like literally, like there wasn't much to say about this Jets game with the Falcons. Like the Jets won, 2 shitty teams. I mean, you could say whatever you want about Tyrod Taylor, but you guys go ahead about that. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. He's coming off an Achilles tear. He's not the same, clearly. But how do you guys feel about the Jets and the Falcons game? And then we'll move on after that.
It threw mid off. That's all I have to say. It threw mid off.
Yeah.
It went back and forth all game. Defense battle ass defenses.
No,
Yeah.
literally. I mean,
that's literally all I have to say.
on the Jets part, I mean, at least Aaron Glenn is keeping his team somewhat competitive. They ain't going nowhere. So at least, you know, has his team, in a sense, playing well enough that, okay, you watch it. All right, cool. You know, if you're a Jets fan, at least you're happy for a win. Yeah. Falcons-wise, I mean, They're just wasting another year of Bijan Robinson not going to the playoffs. You know, obviously Penix is hurt.
Right.
You know, so it's one of these things. It's like, when are the Falcons going to actually figure it out in terms of being a competent winning football team?
Right.
When? They got the defense plays well. They have some studs on defense, some young guys too, especially in Walker, as well as James Pierce, you know, for the future. They just have to start figuring out, because again, you look at Bijan Robinson, especially the game that he had, they should have won that game by a mile. They should have. But it is what it is, and it's another down year for the Falcons, and they don't have their own first-round pick, so they're fucked. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Tyler, Ben, how'd you guys feel about this game?
Oh, I said what I had to say already.
Okay.
I mean, it was cool seeing Kyle Pitts do his thing, kind of. He had like 80 yards or something like that. So, you know, Pitts, Bijan, but like Nero said, this was just another year wasted of Bijan, so it really sucks. Just another disappointing season for the Falcons. And then even Drake London, too. Another good receiver that they have, not really doing much with him now. They have some solid pieces on offense. It's just their quarterback they can't get right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
And this might be a crazy question to ask before we move on, but if it really got that bad, and they obviously don't have their first-round pick, is Bijan Robinson tradable for a first-round? Well, he definitely is, but would it be
would they be open to do so?
Exactly. Like, do you think that's like kind of? It's crazy to say, but could they actually do something like that in order to get their first-round pick back if they were that desperate?
Yep.
No. I would say no, because simply for the sheer fact that, like, if you look at it this way, right, like, Bijan Robinson and Michael Penix are the 1-2 punch for the future, and Drake London is obviously young. He's the future. Like, they want to keep that core together because just simply for the fact that Michael Penix has learned. You know, he's learned at least enough to a point, and yes, he's injured, but he's learned at least to keep that offense together, and he probably knows enough to keep it together and what his strengths are. So, you know, I don't think that they move on from Bijan. That would be a tough ask unless they get an offer they can't fucking refuse. But that wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't happen. And
oh no, definitely
no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't have happened. But
no. Yeah, if they were to get actually that desperate and do some dumb shit like that, Arthur Blank, you might as well sell the team. That's all.
Yeah, literally.
Truthfully. Yeah.
But the next game, another shitty game. Cardinals versus Buccaneers. I mean, I don't have much to say about this game. It sucked. I hated watching this game.
Yeah.
It wasn't good at all. I'll pull up the stats here just to read off the stats for you guys. This game wasn't good at all. I didn't really like it. Wasn't a game I enjoyed watching whatsoever. But obviously, you know, how did you guys feel about this game? What did you see? And, you know, what made it a game at least for you to watch enough to a point? I mean, if you watch Red Zone, you were forced to watch this game. But, you know, Jacoby Brissett,
pure torture.
29 for 40, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks. 100.1 quarterback rating. Mr. Knight, 11 attempts for 62 yards, 1 fumble. Trey McBride, 8 for 82 and a touchdown, doing what he does the best. That's what he does, is score points.
I'll just say right now, the connection between Brissett and McBride is absolutely amazing to watch. There's a true connection.
Fair. You know, Marvin Harrison, 6 for 69 on 7 targets. Michael Carter, 5 for 47 on 6 targets. I mean, this really wasn't much to say enough to a point for the Cardinals side. You got Baker Mayfield, 194 and a touchdown, no turnovers, 2 sacks though. Bucky Irving, 17 for 61 and a touchdown.
And his first game back.
Yeah, first game back. Obviously, he got involved. He was out there. Chris Godwin, 3 for 78 with one of his first game backs. One of his first games back. Chris Godwin was there. Emeka Egbuka has tailed off a cliff, 4 for 42 in this game on 8 targets. Now, there's no posed question, but I mean, well, actually, there is a posed question. I'm sorry. Are the Buccaneers gonna miss the playoffs?
We kind of went over that point earlier with the Panthers. But
Right.
if
But stand on business.
yeah, I'm standing on business. If the Panthers,
I gotta pee real quick. I'll be right back.
if the Panthers keep on going like this,
Yeah.
and they just keep, I think if both of them keep their current trajectory, I think the Panthers just edge out the Buccaneers, especially with like the opponents, both of them.
Yeah. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
No, honestly, will they miss the playoffs? I think they should be able to hold off the Panthers. They should, in a sense, to at least like
they should. Yes. Would they? Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, it's like, would they? It's like, here's the thing. If you go 1-1 against the Panthers, you should be fine. You should. But it's also one of those things also. It's like, if they don't make the playoffs, it's not because that they, what's the word I want to say? They truthfully collapse. Like, them not having Mike Evans and with their offensive line being depleted in a sense, especially inside from the centers and the guards. That right there, it should tell a lot. It should be like, oh, okay, yeah, they didn't make the playoffs, but there was a lot of injuries. And then naturally there is, like, they should be able to make the playoffs, but quite frankly, how the Panthers actually been playing, if the Panthers were able to get a game on them, especially the first game that they play, that second game that they play against them is going to be very important, because you're at that point you would probably have to be fighting for your lives fighting for their lives in the NFC South. So yeah, if I had to say, like, if I had to really say it, they should be fine, but one loss to the Panthers might change the outlook going into that second game against them.
Yep, I fully agree on that. Tyler?
Yeah, I do think they'll still make the playoffs, just because they have 5 games left, and the 3 games outside of the Carolina games, they play the Saints, the Falcons, and the Dolphins.
Right.
So if they can hold those 3 teams off, then I would be pretty shocked. But I think they'll hold on and make the playoffs. And Carolina still plays Seattle, so they definitely have a harder schedule than Tampa does. But I'm rooting for Carolina. I think it would be really cool if the Panthers. It would be a cool story if the Panthers were able to come back and make the playoffs. But the story of the season's definitely been the injuries for Tampa. Like, the first 6 weeks of the season, they had like this vibe, like they had like this aura. They were like 5-1. The vibes were high. Baker was like in the MVP running, and since then, Mike Evans got hurt. Chris Godwin missed like the whole first half of the season.
Egbuka went down the hill.
Yeah, Egbuka went down. They missed Bucky Irving for about a month, I think. So injuries definitely threw their season off track.
Indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. With the way the Panthers are playing, I think the Panthers can make the playoffs. Like, they have 2 convincing wins right now. Probably 3, because they shut out Atlanta 30-0 earlier in the season. A team that we all thought was going to be an offensive threat, probably enough to a point to make a threat, at least in their division, to win the division. And I think that the Panthers are a threat, and I think the Buccaneers might miss the playoffs. I do. It's tough. It's tough to say, obviously, right now because of the schedule, but I think that would be the case. But this is a game. The next 2 games are easy. Jaguars beat the Titans 25-3. I'll pull up the stats here real quick just so everyone can see the beatdown and the meltdown from Tennessee. 25-3. Not much to say about this one. I do not have a posed question because it just doesn't make sense. Trevor Lawrence, 16 for 27, 229, 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne, 12 for 28 on the ground. Trevor Lawrence, 3 for 25 on the ground. You had Mr. Is it Brandon? I think it's Brandon too.
No, it's the weird fucking name.
Bichal too.
It's like Bichon, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bichal.
Bichon. Too.
Bichal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bichal too. then. I'm
Bichal,
sorry.
yeah.
I was way off. 8 for 17 and a touchdown. You know, I mean, Jacoby Myers 6 for 90 and a touchdown. Brenton Strange 3 for 45 and a touchdown. This is as to be expected. I mean, the Jaguars go and they leap up to the first place for the AFC South. I mean, not much to say about this game in my personal end. I don't really have much to say. How do you guys feel about this game and what did you guys see? I guess enough to a point for, if you guys are Cam Ward fans, I can pull up the stats, but
Well, I will say, to start it off, it's the Titans this year and really the last couple of years, it's been a dumpster fire. It's really been a tough watch. Now they got their quarterback of the future and he shows promise. A lot of the ability that he has is similar to Patrick Mahomes in terms of being able to throw on the run, kind of the plays that he makes. Like there's excitement to that. They just got to get help around him. I know DK, he's fun to watch. Also being able to with his kick and punt returns, and even when he is able to catch passes, you just got to get more around him. You got to get the right head coach for him. I think that's all it says on the Titans' part. The Jaguars, this is a game that the Jaguars had to win, but it was over from the start. Just them walking into the building, it was over. You know what I'm saying? There's not much to say. It helps them out because the Colts lost, but again, one team is on the up, another team it's
on the decline.
Exactly. They're not going to figure it out for the rest of this year. Let's see what happens next year, and hopefully for the new head coach of the Titans can build some sort of chemistry and continue to have that franchise kind of get back on the up.
absolutely. Ben, Tyler?
All I can really say for the Titans is they just stink. Like, even if you're a Titans fan, outside of Cam Ward, I would have no desire to watch that team.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, but for the Jaguars, though, Liam Cohen was a really good hire, in my opinion. I don't want to put too much into this game specifically because it's the Titans, but they're 8-4 compared to how they were last year. They definitely, I think Liam Cohen was a good hire. They're definitely better.
Right.
And Brenton Strange, I think that's how you say his name. Strange.
It's Brenton, yeah.
I like him. I'm going to be honest. I think he could be a top 5 tight end next year. I'm making a take right now. I think he could be
I love that.
tight
I
end.
love that.
No, that's actually a good. Yeah, that's.
I could see it.
That's a great take. Like that's he's kind of like on that in terms of skill set wise. Like he's there. Like I do agree with you. Like his skill set. The way he blocks.
Yep.
I think people don't really watch that stuff, but if the people are casual fans, but he's an excellent blocker, and his ability to make space on routes in space so far, especially on a Jaguars team that they kind of struggle with some of those guys doing that, and they don't have a true tight end. Like I do think on your end agreeing with that. Like I do think Brenton Strange could be a definite complementary piece to the rest of this Jaguars team that is also young still. And that's what the Jags, they have the luck of having youth on their side. Their team isn't 30 years old average or 28. Like, Trevor Lawrence is still young, kind of trying to figure it out enough to a point. So, you ask yourself, like you said, like, can Brenton Strange become a safety blanket for Trevor Lawrence, who he hasn't really had a safety blanket, to be honest with you. And, I love that take just because he definitely is a guy that could 100% be a safety blanket. But Ben, any last thoughts on the Jaguars Titans before we move on to the other game that is the worst? It's probably the worst game of the week, but
honestly, I don't have much to say. It's this in the next game. I just don't have much to say. Those results were probably expected.
Yeah,
especially for this game.
And with that being said,
yeah. Now this game,
I mean, I mean, yeah.
I'll just start. This is probably the worst Viking showing I've seen all year.
This is the worst game of the year.
Oh, definitely.
This is the worst Viking showing all year.
This was the worst game of the year. Just turnover after turnover. or excuse me,
Interceptions,
turnover after turnover.
4 interceptions.
You know.
Who the fuck is this guy?
And who the fuck is Max Brosmer? Nero, you might have a little bit of a background here for him.
Well, I mean, shit. He played 6 years in college. He was at New Hampshire, University of New Hampshire for 5 years. He went to Minnesota.
You said he played
year.
how many years?
6?
Yeah, he was in college. Yeah, if I'm looking at it right, yeah. Last time I saw, he was in college. Yeah, he actually was. He was in college at New Hampshire for 5 years and Minnesota last year. So he was in college for 6 years. He was on that Tyler Shook type of vibe. You feel me?
Yeah.
Without the injuries, though. Without the injuries like that. But
Right.
you feel me? But yeah, he was in college for 6 years. He's a rookie, his first year. And he went out there and kind of looked like, you know what? You probably should have thought of a different occupation for a job.
Yeah.
Respectfully. To his credit, for an undrafted free agent this year, he started the game.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's some props. But you started against the wrong team. And I wouldn't be surprised if you looked yourself in the mirror after that game and said, damn, is this really my dream job if my offensive line or anybody else can't fucking help me? Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. But yeah, the Seahawks did what they had to do.
Literally.
That's all that shit was. Yeah, that's the Seahawks did their thing. Vikings, Justin Jefferson. I feel sorry for you, brother. Another year.
Yeah. Not much to say about this game. I mean, it is what it is. We'll move on to the next one. Raiders versus Chargers. Not much to say about this one either, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pull up the stats for you guys to be like real, but there's really not much to say about this game. You know, Justin Herbert's on a broken left hand.
Mm-hmm.
He just got surgery for that today.
I can pull up the result. Report.
You know, this game.
Free Ashton Genty.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
That offensive line is fucking horrible. I mean, you know, the Chargers dominated this from start to finish. Geno Smith, though, with 18 for 23, 78.3 completion percentage, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception, 5 sacks. So, you know, 15 for 31, Ashton Genty behind a horrible offensive line chat. And Brock Bowers, 4 for 63, 2 touchdowns on 4 targets, caught all of his targets. Ashton Genty, 6 for 30 in the air. And, you know, 8 targets. You know, belt to ass as to what we expected. But, you know, just to pose the question to you guys before we move on to the next game. Will Justin Herbert's injury affect the Los Angeles Chargers?
Like the severity of it is like that for now it's just considered day-to-day, which is good for the Chargers. But I just don't know how it's gonna last because it's left hand. And if you have seen pictures of it, it is not good.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
Trying to find a picture real quick, give me a second. You can't see it.
Nope.
Nah.
Nope.
No,
Still
can't. Yeah.
Still can't.
This because it's the bandage is white. Well, anyway, he has one finger up. Like all of his hands is on the ball. He has just one finger up. Like,
His shit's so fucked up, it's not even worth looking at.
Yeah, literally, no bullshit. Like his
Oh, there you go.
hand is so fucked up. Oh,
Jeez.
there we go. What the?
Jeez.
Oh.
No, actually, that's nasty. That's
Nah,
terrible.
that's nasty.
That's nasty. That's nasty. No cap. That's
I
nasty.
mean, you know, I have faith in Justin Herbert when he's 100% healthy. That's
definitely.
all I'll say about that.
Yeah, if he's not, I mean, if he's still out there, They're honestly the Chargers might be a little more of a running team in a sense. Justin Herbert will still throw some passes. They might relegate a tad bit more to the run. I think they're okay because at least their defense plays well. You know what I'm saying? Besides some, sometimes they have some duds like we've seen throughout this year. But yeah, if the defense continues to play well, Derwin James as the leader continues to do his thing, Henley as well, they should be fine. You just hope that Justin Herbert doesn't fuck up his hand even more if he continues to play. So that's it. Try to protect him as best you can.
Yeah.
Like even when Herbert wasn't in the game, I don't think Trey Lance did that bad. Like I know he didn't play much. He played like a few drives, a few plays.
Right.
But I don't think he did too bad. Like I'm pretty sure they could get something going with him. Like of course it won't be Herbert, but Lance is still decent for them to like drive their play downfield and get attacks going.
Right.
Tyler?
If they do happen to miss him for a couple games, I don't know if you guys have looked at their schedule, but it's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh.
He took the thank God you took that take because I'm over here like trying to fight sleep. But no, for real, like that is a great point you make. Like that schedule is egregious.
If you look like strength of schedule for the rest of the year, I wouldn't be surprised they have the worst.
But yeah, it has to be one of the hardest.
It's third worst. It's Colts, Green Bay, then them.
Right. Yeah. But to move on to the next game, absolutely, I agree with all you guys on that take. Bills beat the Steelers 26-7. We get straight to the point here. Is this a bounce back game for the Bills, or do the Steelers just suck?
I think the Steelers just suck.
I agree.
I know I'm a Ravens fan, and I fucking despise the Steelers. But that was not a good showing by the Steelers whatsoever.
Not at all.
No, it wasn't. No. And again, I was over 200 yards they rushed for, obviously, with the Bills, but it was the worst ever in their stadium as an opposing team that they gave up. That defense is just fucking horrendous. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, I don't know, Mike Tomlin, he's coached well. He's won a Super Bowl. I get that, but it might be time, especially in the offseason, maybe, just maybe, to start fresh. It might.
I'm surprised they didn't do that last year.
I am too.
So, if you guys want to look at my screen here, this is how much, chat. The fucking Steelers suck.
There's no sound, but it's whatever.
You can't hear sound?
No.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, long story short, right? Before I get into this video, you guys are about to see how many times the Bills ran the same formation with different run stacks in the same formation all game against this defense. This is how bad it is. Mind you, for a total of 19 times they ran this play during this game.
29.
Or 29. You're right. Yeah, it's 29. You're right. 29. I'm sorry. 29 times. And Jackson Hawes made TJ Watt his bitch. I can't lie to you. Under center, single back look.
We had the sound for like 2 seconds. But yeah, this is. Yeah, if you run the play 29 times, you can't stop it every time. There's a fucking problem.
Flow to the left. Obviously, you can see beautiful execution there by Jackson Hawes on TJ Watt. Clear Shakir. Wide receivers get involved. Yeah. 12 personnel. Single wide receiver on the right. Boom.
And it's always the same direction. Like, it's not even, we go the other way. Nope. Always to the right. The Steelers did find a fix all game, and TJ Watt was pissed after the game. Like, it was
And you see it. Open up the lane.
That's so embarrassing.
like 29
Exact same play again. Move the wide receiver to a bunch look behind the tight end and 12 personnel. Genius move, by the way.
Oh, not to mention, one of the comments says it. The Bills didn't have the two best offensive linemen.
Yep.
That makes it worse.
That does make it worse. Makes it mad. Yeah.
That's
all that money for that defense just to pull some shit.
Most
like
expected
that.
defense.
So you get the gist, you guys.
Yeah.
Most expected,
you know,
most expected, most paid defense, and still plays like this. According to some play 29 times.
Yeah.
The thing is, Tomlin is the defensive coach. That makes it worse.
Yes.
Like, you're supposed to hit part of the solution, brother. Like,
yeah, not part
find
of
the
the
fix. Yeah, it's more part of the problem now, not just a fucking solution.
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not a fan of this fucking thing. I fucking hate this fucking thing. I just fucking laugh at this.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But
oh my God.
Terrible.
You know, with that being said, too, last game of the night, Broncos played the Commanders, 27-26 game. You know, I'll pose this question to you guys because, you know, this was a great game Ben and I watched together. Is the Broncos offense a concern going into the playoffs?
I mean, Tyler kind of mentioned it earlier. Bo Nix is not what it is. Like, yes, the Broncos like what 10-2 now, I think. 10-3.
Mm-hmm.
There's how they've been playing on the offense is just not what their record is. It's just not showing. Like, it's all because of the defense, and even then, the defense has been shaky. So it's like you gotta find a balance somewhere.
Absolutely. No, yeah, absolutely, I agree.
No, I agree too. It's really more so. I'm not going to say Bo Nix has truly had a sophomore slump, but it's also one of those things that completion percentage wise and kind of how basically like how he's I don't know how to say it, but it's kind of how he's like how he is on the field in terms of like his vision. It's not, you know, it's not where it was. It's not where it is this year, how it was last year. I think also maybe it could be an issue probably with the offensive coordinator. What saves this team is obviously their defense. And they got guys on offense that are plus guys. They do. I guess the offensive coordinator, Bo Nix, they just have to somewhat pick it up as they get into the playoffs, because if they go into this playoffs and facing a good defensive team, or at least a team that can really stick with their offense and somewhat shut them down, they're going to be in trouble. They are. But with their defense...
Yeah, I'll just take by what I said earlier, the Texans.
Yeah. Yeah. If they play a team like the Texans, they might be fucked. Really.
That just contradicts what I was saying earlier, but they literally, with that point, the Texans could be trouble for them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Tyler, what do you think? Is the Broncos offense a concern going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ben. I think that, like, if you knew nothing about football and you turn on a Broncos game and you watch their offense, you would not think that team is 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah, literally. That's literally.
So the answer to the question, yeah, I think it is a concern. And to be honest with you, I believe in the Patriots' offense more. I believe in Houston's offense more. I even believe in Jacksonville's offense more. Honestly.
Yeah, just more explosive guys in the weapons room. You know, this Broncos team, Evan Ingram, we saw a lot of drop passes from Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw, not only did we see some drop passes from Evan Ingram, but, you know, Troy Franklin is not a guy that either can stay healthy and or contribute enough to make sure it's a reassurance. And then you got, you know, Cortland Sutton being double teamed most of the time, or he's not even a factor because his route tree isn't extensive. So I do think the Broncos offense is a concern, but I also think the defense, like Ben said, is going to save them. But
yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, Bo Nix is kind of having like a sophomore slump, yet they're 10-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And his sophomore slump, it's odd because you look at his situation and like, yeah, he doesn't really have anybody outside of like literally probably Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
But you know, if you build a real team around this kid, like I think he could be like Drake May level, depending on what you put around him. Remember, they gave Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Matt Collins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, but you know, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for sticking out the live with us. You know, we recap every week for you guys. We got a recap for you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out Tyler for coming in and killing it as per usual. You know, make sure you guys go check out at Bears.wire. Shout out to Mr. Ben. You feel me? If you guys like hockey, you guys already know. Follow his Instagram at b.dodxy on Instagram. And you know, we are here with the one and only Mr. Nero. What the hell is happening in sports? You guys gotta go follow at WTHHS617 on Instagram. We got some reels, we got some stuff up, content up with him. We got a reel that we just posted with him up there. If you guys want to go check that out, the most recent reel. Shout out to the at the Bay State Media, us of course as a collective. You know, we got a whole team. There's a lot of guys in here. You know, shout out to Bears Wire and What the Hell is Happening Sports for helping us out. We've been here for a minute. Thank you guys for 200 subscribers. You know, we here. We climbing up, and you know, I appreciate you guys for being here. And you know, with that being said, cue the outro.
Hey, a lot of work put into this moment. A lot of work. Remember one thing today. You're not alone. You got 10 dudes around you that are going to lay it on the line for you. Do the same for them. Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Driving out of state, I'm crossing in the states. You know that I don't play. I'ma take you on a date. Yeah, I'm the 40s back from
Ready to go.
I know this from the heart, cause you know that I'm a star. And it's all came from the heart. You were here when it was hard. I told her what I'm
Hey, gotta love this, man. Get to go out there and play some football, man. Have some fun, play for each other.
Or you tell it for the man next to you.
Hey, 60 minutes, play for one another.
Hey, man, this is a hell of an opportunity. What you willing to lay on the line? Ask yourself that.
Finish, grind, take a deep breath, and have some fun. Okay?